CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. It is with great pride that the Mystery Theater begins its 9th year as radio's first theater of the 80s with that giant of classic stories, Victor Hugo's powerful picture of good and evil, Les Misérables. One of the greatest tragedies to befall man is betrayal. Wrong made to appear right. Punishment cloaked under the name of justice. Today's Mystery Theater presentation is an account of one man's lifelong search for justice, which to the end of his days eludes him. Unhappily, justice delayed is justice denied.
Jean Valjean, you were in prison for 19 years?
5 years, Bishop, for stealing a loaf of bread. And 14 more years added on every time I tried to escape.
Each time you tried to run away?
They added on another few years. Bishop, it's a sin against nature to take a man out of the sun and shut him up in a galley with no light. Years and years of black night.
You must have suffered in darkness.
I learned to hate in darkness.
Our drama, The Thief and the Bishop, Part 1 of Les Misérables, a novel in 5 parts adapted from Victor Hugo's masterpiece by Gerald Keane, stars Alexander Scourby as Jean Valjean and Bernard Grant as Inspector Javert. I shall return in a moment with Act 1. In those days, the early 1800s in France, you could get 5 years for stealing a loaf of bread. And every time you tried to escape, they'd tack on 4 more years and rivet an iron collar around your neck. The man who suffered so was a peasant called Jean Valjean. 1 loaf of bread to keep his sister and her 7 children from starving. No wonder he hated society when they took off his irons, handed him a yellow passport, opened the gates, and set him free.
I knew Valjean. He thought he was above the law. He could never understand transgressions must be punished. Inspector Javert is my name, Prefecture of France. No criminal anywhere in the country can escape me. I have an uncanny 6th sense in the pit of my stomach. It's never failed me yet. An evil man, no matter how long he is in prison, never changes, cannot change. No more than a leopard can change his markings. I led Valjean to the main gate. He was counting the money he had earned in prison.
109 francs, 15 sous. I've counted it twice.
I'm glad you haven't forgotten how to count.
I've forgotten nothing. Not you, Javert. Not the rats, not the darkness, not the bars. I've been here for 19 years, and by my count, the state owes me 171 francs.
That's the way you figure it.
Why am I cheated?
Did you take into account all the Sundays and the holidays?
What? I'm not paid for that? I was here, nevertheless.
No one is paid on Sundays and holidays. The Prefecture of Police doesn't pay me either.
That's all right for you. You're free. The day you don't work, you see the sun.
The sun is for those who don't steal. The gate is open. Go. 109 francs ought to last you. Have you relatives?
I had a widowed sister 19 years ago, and she had children. By now, they could have starved to death.
Remember, Valjean, no more stealing. Because if you break one law, turn one hair of your head the wrong way, Javert will be there right behind you. Make no mistake. The next sentence you receive will be for life.
I wanted to shut off those 19 years. Close that part of my life the way the gates of Toulon prison closed behind me. I was a nobody with a yellow passport, which means... I'll tell you what it means. It was a hot day. I'd walked 15 miles before the sun was high. I saw men in front of a building.
You look like a strong man. You want work?
Yes, I'll work.
You look stronger than most. Get up there on that wagon and lift the barrels down.
All right.
2 men will carry them into the distillery.
Right away. All these barrels up here?
Everyone. Hey, you're strong and fast. Hey, look sharp, the rest of you. The new man will have everything unloaded before you start moving. He's doing the work of 10 of you.
Good morning. Who is the new man?
I don't know, officer. He just appeared. Strong, isn't he?
I haven't seen him around Dijon before.
Well, sometimes I'm lucky. I get good people. All right, the rest of you move. He's worth his weight in gold, eh?
Did he tell you where he was from?
What are all these questions? He's working his head off.
What's his name?
I did not ask him. He did not ask my name. I did not ask his.
I want to talk to him. Call him over.
You police are all the same. You have nothing better to do but interfere with hard-working men.
Yeah.
You, up on the wagon. Come down here.
Am I doing something the wrong way?
No. This is the gendarme of Dijon. He wants to talk to you. Don't keep him long, officer. Time is money.
What is your name?
Valjean?
Is that your first name, Valjean?
No. Jean Valjean.
Where did you work last?
Toulon.
Toulon, huh? May I see your papers?
Huh? Papers?
Yes, it's identity papers.
This is all I have. That's what they gave me.
Yes, a yellow passport. You served time in the Toulon prison, huh?
Yes, but it's over now.
I hope so. But you had better be careful.
It didn't dawn on me what that yellow passport meant until the end of the day, when I lined up with the others for my money. I said to one of them, standing in front of me, "How much did I earn?"
How much? For a day's work? Don't you know?
No, I've never worked here before.
A man of your strength, you probably never had to take so little money.
Well, how much? How much money do I get?
30 sous. Isn't that a crime for a whole day's work?
Next. Move along.
I have to take it, and I have to thank him.
Next. Hello, Auguste.
Will I be working tomorrow?
Yes, 6 o'clock. Here, it is your 30 sous.
Thank you.
Next. Oh, it's you.
Will I be working tomorrow?
No, Valjean, we are all full up. We have all the hands we need.
What? You don't want me? What, I did something wrong?
Look, I am not saying you are not a good worker, but it is a matter of the passport.
Because it's yellow.
It means you have committed a crime.
A crime? I stole 1 loaf of bread for my sister to save 7 little ones from starving. I paid 19 years of my life for that crime.
Believe me, I understand.
What do you understand? You give them 19 years of your life, and they give you a yellow passport. They say to you, be honest, don't steal, go to work. But they won't let you work. And you keep on paying for that 1 loaf of bread. Give me my money.
Here you are.
What is this? 15 sous? Everyone else is paid 30 sous. I'm paid 15. Is that what I get for doing the work of 3 others?
Valjean, I do not like your tone of voice. Careful what you say, or you will find yourself behind bars.
I was worth my weight in gold until you saw that yellow passport. It is you and those like you who break our backs and our spirit. But the time will come when God will punish you. And if you're not punished, then there is no God.
3 dolphins.
Yes? What do you want?
Supper and a bed.
Nothing easier, if you have the money.
I have money in my purse.
Well, in that case, I am at your service. I'm just making the evening meal. Go inside. Take your knapsack off and rest yourself. Have you come a long way?
I have.
Go inside. I'll tell you when the food is ready.
Don't forget, I haven't eaten all day.
George, come here. You see that man who walked in the kitchen door? I want you to take this note to the mayor's office. Go at the front door, but don't look at the man as you go. I'm afraid the boy has just brought me some bad news.
I'd like to put my things in the room you have for me. Clean up a little before I eat.
I cannot make room for you.
What? What do you mean? Oh, I'm not going to cheat you. No, here, you can have the money in advance. I have the money.
I have no room for you.
What? No room anywhere? In the attic?
No.
Or in the stable?
I can't do that.
Why not?
The horses take up all the room.
Oh, don't worry yourself. A corner in the loft, a truss of straw. I'll be all right. We'll see to that after supper.
I can't give you any supper.
But you said... No, I don't think you understand me. I've been on my legs since sunrise, walking without stopping. Look, I can pay. I demand from you food.
I have none.
What? No food? What's this?
All this is ordered.
By whom?
By all the men in there. They always eat here.
How many are there?
12.
There's enough food here for 20. Look, innkeeper, I don't know what you're up to. First you promised me bed and food, and then there's none. This is a public place. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I shall remain here.
Listen, you get out of here. Be off.
But why? Why do you say that?
Don't you think I know who you are?
What?
Your name is Jean Valjean. You've come from 19 years of hard labor in prison. When you came in the kitchen door and not the front door, I suspected something. So, I sent a note to the mayor's office. And this is the answer I received. Can you read?
I'll just go inside and pick up my knapsack.
I am accustomed to be polite with everybody. So don't give me any trouble.
To be humiliated like that. To be turned out of one door, and half an hour later when I walked into another inn, to find that word had been there ahead of me. What? To be laughed at. And then, dark as it was, to see people in the street pointing at me. Tapers were lit, lanterns, men gathered together as if I was some evil beast to be driven from town. I had no idea how far it was to the next town. All I knew was that I was in a world of people who shunned me as if I were a leper. Clouds covered the moon, and I staggered headlong into a sign, fainted from the blow. When I came to, I could barely make out the words. 5 kilometers to the town of Digne.
The genius of Victor Hugo, who created the characters we are meeting, is his ability to hold the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature and scorn her own image. Wrongly imprisoned, Jean Valjean now finds himself abroad in a universal jail from which there seems to be no escape. I shall return shortly with Act 2. Our curtain rises on the second act of The Thief and the Bishop. We have met the thief. one Jean Valjean, who traded 19 years of his life to bring bread to his sister and her 7 little ones. Though he was cast out and mocked in his wanderings, Valjean had no idea his movements were being watched by Inspector Javert, the roving prince
of men and of angels, but have not love. I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal.
Your Grace?
And if I have prophetic powers and understanding, all the mysteries and all knowledge...
I regret to interrupt you with your Sunday sermon, Bishop.
I regret it also, my dear sister. Kindly be quiet until I have completed this phrase from St. Paul. And if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Now, what is it, my sister?
I never try to interrupt you when you are preparing the Sunday lesson.
You try.
But you know Aristide Dupin, who is condemned to death for murder?
Yes.
Tomorrow is the day of the execution.
May the Lord have mercy on his soul.
The prison chaplain is ill.
Oh?
So they sent for the cure, and he said it's no business of mine. It's not my place to comfort this man.
The cure was right.
Oh, how can you say that? That there should be no one at the man's side on his last moment on earth? Oh, I never thought I'd hear such a thing from you.
The cure was right. It was not his place. It is mine. Aristide Dupin knew he had sinned. What quarrel had driven him to kill his neighbor, we didn't talk about. I spent the day and night with him, forgetting sleep or food, for at sunrise he was to be guillotined. Gradually, where the condemned man had seen only darkness, he began to see light.
Why did I wait this long, Monsignor? Welcome. To find such a friend as you.
My son, the church was always there. The doors were always open.
That you, a bishop, should ride in this open cart with me to the guillotine. Look at them. I can even see some old friends of mine in the street.
Their prayers are with you.
You, Dupin, walk on to the platform.
I shall accompany him to the scaffold, if you do not mind.
There's only room for one under the guillotine.
Before you lower the hood over his face and tie his hands behind his back, I would like a few last words with Dupin.
Suit yourself, Your Grace.
Aristide, do you remember what we spoke of during the night?
Every word. Love bears all things.
Believes all things.
It believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
Yes, endures all things.
That if I really believe in the love of God, I will be forgiven.
Without question. Love is the only bond between life and the hereafter. Hold it fast, and you will be able to overcome the next moments.
Father, suddenly I'm not afraid of dying anymore.
Be not afraid. You are absolved of your sins. Of all those standing here in the marketplace, watching, those of the law upon this scaffold, the headsman who will pull the knife to the top of the guillotine, you, Aristide, are the most fortunate. A very short time from now, you will know the infinite, which is denied to all of us.
I am deeply sorry my friend died at my hands. It was an accident. I did not mean to kill him.
So, brother, you were with him until the end of his life?
Until the beginning. But I cannot condone the method. I cannot condone the punishment of man by the guillotine. No, my sister, when one has seen a knife fall, one is never the same. The guillotine is not neutral, and it doesn't allow you to be neutral. I discovered today the scaffold is not wood, not steel or ropes. It is the accomplice of the executioner. It is a species of monster manufactured by the judge and the carpenter. I pray I have helped one soul bear the pain, but that headless man has left me with the terror.
Oh, brother, who could that be at this time of night?
Time of night? It is hardly late. You told me dinner would be ready in 10 minutes.
I know everyone in the village, their footsteps, their hands at the door. Oh, but not that one.
Probably a traveler who has lost his way. You go back to the kitchen. I'll open the door.
Is it safe?
I'm coming.
Yes, my friend.
My name is Jean Valjean. I've spent 19 years in prison. I've been traveling for 4 days. Today I've walked 12 leagues.
I am very interested in your story, but so is every insect and night moth by this door. Come inside so I can close the door and keep our flying friends outside.
This evening I came into town. I went to the inn, but I was sent away because of this. It's the same everywhere. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yellow passport.
Yeah. I went to another inn. The same welcome. I tried to sleep in the doorway, and a good woman pointed out your house and said, go and knock there. You will be welcome.
Did I hear him say he has a yellow passport?
My sister. She takes an interest in political matters.
He said that, didn't he?
Please, place another fork and knife and plate on the table.
Your Grace, may I speak with you a moment?
What?
Over here in the corner. Why are you setting another place for dinner?
Man is hungry. I prefer him to eat from a plate with the proper utensils.
I'll try to find some future.
As you like, but be quick. Now, my friend, a bit of wine, yes? To relax you?
Sir, what sort of an inn is this? I have money. 109 francs and 30 sous. I can pay. May I sit?
I don't know what has kept you standing all this time.
I'm very tired. I'm very hungry. Will you let me stay here?
This is no inn. Didn't you tell him this is no inn?
Sister, did you lay another knife and fork as I asked you?
There is something else I must talk to you about.
Something else?
What do we do about the silver spoons, the platters, the candlesticks inherited from great Aunt Sophie?
What in the world are you talking about?
Look at him. Just look at him. I heard you tell him he could spend the night. We shall all be murdered in our beds.
Valjean, you are staring out the window. Why haven't you helped yourself to the brandy? Here, let me. There. One for you, and a smaller one for me. To your health.
Lady, I didn't quite understand you. Your housekeeper?
My sister. She takes care of me.
She's worried.
Drink slowly. Take deep breaths. You're going to eat well.
Yes. It's too much for me to understand. I was 30. Now I'm 49. And they tell you the gates are open. You're free. Free? Wherever I go, I'm turned against or turned out. And now, you're telling me all is well. And that I can eat at your table.
Sister, will you put clean sheets on the bed in the alcove?
It's all true. You're going to let me stay.
My good sir, we shall eat directly, and your bed will be ready for you.
You call me sir. The others, dog, they call me, and worse.
Come along, Jean. We eat in the kitchen.
You really mean I am to stay? But you're worthy people. I have money. I'll pay handsomely. By the way, what is your name, Mr. Landlord? I will pay anything you please, for you are a worthy man.
I am a bishop living in this house.
Huh? A bishop? How stupid of me. I didn't notice your cassock. You don't want me to pay for food and a night's lodging?
No. You keep your money. How long did it take you to earn your 109 francs?
19 years. I stole a loaf of bread from my sister and her 7 children. They had no food. I don't know to this day if they're alive.
19 years for a loaf of bread?
No, 5 years for the bread. 14 more when I tried to run away.
You kept escaping and they kept bringing you back.
It's a sin against nature to take a man out of the sun and shut him up in a cell with no light. Years and years of black night.
My poor man, you must have suffered in darkness.
I learned to hate in darkness.
But why did you attempt to escape so many times? It only lengthened your sentence.
Instinct, not reason. When a caged bird suddenly sees an opening, it doesn't think it will be caught and returned to the cage. It flies out. My instinct said, run away.
Too bad. You should have listened to reason.
Reason? You don't understand. Reason disappears. The temptation is too violent. Temptation? Put yourself in my place. One day, after months, years of groping in darkness, you're suddenly placed in a cell with a window. A square of gray sky. A little bird sits there. You have to see, is it really a bird? I took a big wooden table, just like this. Yeah. I climbed up on it. The bird saw me. It flew away.
Stop him! Stop him!
You see, I'm close to the window now. With my hands, I could bend those bars just enough. I could fly away, too. What am I doing?
John! John, come and sit down.
I will not remain in this room.
No.
Monsignor, this time you have gone too far. You have invited a madman to eat with us.
One should not judge Madame Magloire too harshly. Valjean, the outcast, now society's victim, has forgotten how to behave with normal people. For 6,000 nights he has slept on planks, existed in cages, in dungeons, his foot welded to a cannonball. The bishop is aware of these contradicting emotions in this suffering man. His attempt to restore sanity and order in Valjean's spiritual house is part of the extraordinary third act, which I shall bring you shortly. It was more fear than anger that made the bishop's sister storm out of the kitchen. It wasn't long, however, before Madame Magloire returned with broom and cloths, and woe betides to anyone who might be standing where she wished to clean and sweep.
I'm sorry, Bishop. I'm sorry, Mademoiselle.
I've broken all the dishes, every single one. That's what you get for feeding such a brute.
No, I'd lost my head.
Sister, it was a violent emotion born out of all his memories. Be charitable. Forgive him, sister. He is not to be blamed. Look, the man is weeping. We must help this man.
I behaved like an animal. Can you forgive me?
You lived in a zoo for a long time. Sister, there is not enough light on the table. Would you fetch the 2 candlesticks from my room? I am not the one to forgive, Jean. I have seen too much of poverty and injustice. If there is to be reproach or judgment, I leave that in more qualified hands. Oh, sister, bring the other plates, knives, and forks. The silver spoons and forks and platters. The stew will get cold.
Well, it's all my fault.
I beg you, sir, take your seat by the stove. My sister makes the best oxtail ragout between here and Paris. Valjean and I talked until late. And when I awoke in the morning, he had gone. I always take a turn around my garden before breakfast, admiring the flowers.
Monseigneur, I have been looking high and low for the silver vase.
What an excellent idea. We'll take a few of these gladiolas, the red ones and the white ones, and bring some of the garden indoors.
Your Grace does not understand me. The vase has disappeared, and the knives and the forks and the spoons and the two platters. Look up there. Do you see where the coping on the top of the wall has been torn away? That is the way he went.
Well, why wouldn't he go out the gate?
The gate squeaks. He has stolen all our silver.
Sister, was that silver really ours?
I am speechless. How can you be so calm?
Those few pieces of silver, were they ours? By what right? By inheritance? I was in the wrong. I held back this silver which rightfully belonged to the poor. I should have sold it and given the money to the needy.
Everything should be given to the poor? Everything? Look at you. How threadbare your cassock. Your sandals are always broken. Have you ever in your entire life worn a new pair of shoes?
Not since I was ordained. That is exactly what I am talking about. The silver belonged to the poor. Who's this Jean Valjean? A poor and abused man. I tried to speak to him of faith, but what the silver could buy for him was all he could understand.
I don't want you thinking that I can only eat with silver. But you? What will you eat with now?
With a pewter, of course.
Pewter smells. I have enough wooden spoons. Breakfast will be ready in 10 minutes.
Thank you, my dear. Why don't you comfort yourself with the knowledge that you have given to the needy?
You see what comes of your open door, Monseigneur. Welcome. The world laughs at such welcomes.
No, not really. I have the opportunity to open my house. They do not.
Well, I simply cannot accept it as calmly as you. It is an affront.
My dear, I am just as guilty. If he has sinned, it was I who put the temptation in his grasp. I was the little bird in the cell window that showed him freedom. Besides, do we know that Jean Valjean has walked off with the silver?
Why are you letting the man escape? I didn't like him from the moment I saw him.
Would you pass me some more bread? Would you be surprised, my dear, if it were our friend who has returned? I'll go. Good morning, gentlemen.
So they caught him. I'm not surprised.
Monseigneur, I would not have disturbed you, but before proceeding to the gendarmerie, I thought it best to come here first. Do you know this man?
Do I know Jean Valjean? That is like asking me, do I know my right hand? Jean, what have you done that this policeman holds you by the collar?
We found some silver knives and forks and spoons in the vase and silver platters in his knapsack, and I remembered they belong to you, Your Grace.
Well, what about the candlesticks, Jean?
I know we didn't find any candlesticks on him.
Of course not. Here they are, still standing on the sideboard. Jean, I gave you the candlesticks as well. They are also silver. You could get at least 200 francs for them. Why didn't you take them along with the rest of the silver?
Look at him staring at you as if you've lost your head. Bishop, are you feeling all right?
Never better, sister.
You mean to go through with this play acting?
Sister, it is my turn to ask you what you are talking about.
If you will excuse me, I have to go out and do some marketing. Good day to you.
A woman's work is never done. My sister is an excellent housekeeper.
Yes, then if I understand correctly, Monseigneur, what this man told us is true?
You didn't believe him?
We saw him crossing some fields in a great hurry. He looked as if he were running away, so I stopped him and searched him. One can hardly be blamed to have certain suspicions to find all the bishop's silver in a stranger's knapsack. Of course, he denied everything.
I'm sure he told you it was given to him by an old priest at whose house he passed the night. I see it all. So naturally, being in the investigative arm of the law, you brought him back here to confirm his story. I don't blame you. But as it happens, Jean spoke the truth. I did give him the silver. You made a mistake.
In that case, I suppose I should let him go. Huh?
Oh, most certainly.
Huh? Is this true? Well, I'm free?
Don't you understand? There are no charges against you. Your Grace, forgive the intrusion.
A natural mistake. I would offer you wine, but I know officers of the law do not drink while on duty.
Well, I thank you again. I shall leave him with you, Your Grace. Good day. I beg your pardon, madame.
I was just coming back. Goodbye.
It's a pleasure. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
May I have a word?
I thought you were going out to the store. Jean, excuse me one moment.
I shall be leaving myself.
No, you are not. Step into the garden if you wish. But I don't want you to run away again. I may have something for you which could be of help.
Yeah. I'll wait outside.
I cannot leave you alone with that man.
I cannot remember you making such a scene when I spent an entire night with the poor wretch who was guillotined the day before yesterday.
He was in prison, not wandering about our garden.
Oh, my dear, try to understand. An opportunity like this may never come again. I want to save his soul. I want to give him self-respect.
By giving him all the silver.
It is a bond between us. Now, you stay in here. If you like, you can watch us in the garden, but mind you don't move the curtains. I don't wish him to feel he is being spied upon. My sister is worried for my safety.
You don't despise me after what I did?
No.
You don't despise a thief? I told you. An ex-convict from Toulon.
You didn't have to warn me. You see, this is not my house, but the house of Christ. That door there, the front door, it doesn't ask whether a man who enters has a name, only if he has a sorrow. I understand what tortures you. The world has closed its doors to you. You are suffering. But I did not receive you in my house. No one is at home here but the man who has need. In fact, Jean, you are more at home here than I myself. And all that I have belongs to you.
I have never heard such words.
I knew right away who you were. It didn't matter what you told me.
Is that true? You knew my name?
Yes. You are my brother.
I cannot take the silver. Not the candlesticks. Nothing.
You will take the silver, Jean Valjean. My brother, you no longer belong to evil, but to good. I have bought your soul. I withdraw it from bitterness and anguish and black thoughts. And I give it to God.
Jean Valjean hoisted his knapsack upon his back and left the good bishop's house. The sun rose and fell. Night passed, but Jean Valjean did not leave the town of Digne. Early the next morning, the lamplighter saw him on his knees in front of the church, weeping. As the barnyard signaled daylight, Jean Valjean arose and walked north. It would be many years before he returned to this town. I shall be back shortly. Our next broadcast will be part 2 of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, celebrating the start of our 9th season. Let me leave you with the simple words of the poor bishop. Never let us fear robbers or murderers. Prejudices are the real robbers, vices the true murderers. The great dangers are within ourselves, not to our bodies, but to our souls. Our cast included Alexander Scourby, Bernard Grant, Mandel Kramer, Joan Shea, and Earl Hammond. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Raven House Paperback Mysteries. This is E.G. Marshall, inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. To celebrate its 9th season as radio's first theater of the 80s, Mystery Theater is presenting in 5 parts Victor Hugo's extraordinary novel, Les Misérables. Today, Part 2, tracing the life of Jean Valjean, a man unjustly imprisoned who tries to make a place for himself in the world and is rejected at every turn. One man, a bishop, extends friendship and faith. And with this inspiration as his guiding star, Valjean stifles his hatred and tries to become himself a good Samaritan. The odds against him are almost insurmountable.
What's happened here? What's wrong?
The woodcutter's horse went down in the mud. When Marcel tried to pull him out, the cart tipped and caught him beneath it.
Marcel, can you manage to squeeze out of there?
I can't move. I'm caught. My chest is crushed. Help me.
There's no one strong enough to lift the cart out of the mud enough to pull him out.
Let me try.
No. Don't anyone try. It's too late. Let me die.
Our drama, The Lawless and the Law. Part 2 of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, adapted for the Mystery Theater by Gerald Keane, stars Alexander Scourby as Jean Valjean and Bernard Grant as Inspector Javert. I shall return shortly with Act 1. No one has ever quarreled with the playwright Shakespeare's idea that justice should be tempered with mercy. Jean Valjean, after serving 19 years in prison for stealing 1 loaf of bread, has made compassion his way of life. Once free, he determined wherever he could, he would right every wrong. Not so another character in Victor Hugo's story, Inspector Javert of the French police. To him, the word mercy meant nothing.
Pierre?
Yes, Inspector Javert.
There is something troubling me. It will not go away.
12 years ago, I was made into a kind of roving prefect. There is something about the town of Moulins that bothers me greatly. No, not something, but someone.
You have evidence?
No, I don't. Only a certain feeling. Not here in my head, but here in my stomach.
But then why don't you bring the man in for questioning?
He happens to be the richest man in Moulins.
Could be all the more reason. Stolen wealth.
He also happens to be the mayor.
Oh, you don't mean Mayor Madeleine? Impossible. Why, he put Moulins on the map. Created that whole glass bead factory. Employs hundreds of people.
I know all that. All his charities, the library, the hospital with free beds for the poor. But this feeling in my stomach persists.
12 years ago, you say?
That's when he was released from Toulon.
And he looks the same?
No, not at all. Then he had a beard. He was unkempt, unshaven. Could hardly put two words together.
Inspector, is his voice the same?
No, not even that. Now, you've heard the mayor. He speaks with gentleness and a supreme authority. But let us examine the problem. This Mayor Madeleine, where did he come from? Suddenly he appears in Moulins with an invention to make black beads, better and cheaper than even the Germans. He buys land, builds buildings, and Moulins becomes a thriving industrial city. Years ago, I trailed him, but I lost the trail.
But if he served all his sentence, why continue to follow him?
There are some unexplained pieces to the puzzle. Now, this man is discharged from Toulon with 109 francs, 15 sous. Where did he get the thousands to build factories? By stealing it. Why not?
Oh, I don't see Mayor Madeleine as a common thief.
No, nobody does, except myself.
If he has hidden his past so successfully for so long, what makes you think he would betray himself now?
I can wait another 12 years if I need to.
I am Jean Valjean. I knew that Inspector Javert had been assigned to Moulins, which was a bit of a joke to me since we hadn't had even a solitary drunk in 4 years, let alone a minor theft. But he probably requested the assignment. My appearance and life had changed so considerably, there was nothing to connect me with the prisoner he had known. Business was booming in our town. Our factories were hiring new people every day.
And Mademoiselle Fantine, what experience have you had?
Madame Fantine. I'm a widow.
And have you had any experience in the manufacture of glass beads?
Since my husband's sudden death, I have had to think about supporting my baby girl. Cosette is her name.
Right, so you haven't really had any practical experience?
I'm sure I could learn. I have to work to take care of her.
Well, of course you could learn. Well, let me see. Yes, there just happens to be an opening in our glass bead counting department, and you could start work when?
I could. Tomorrow morning?
Yes, tomorrow morning. Report first to my office at 7.
May I ask another favor of you, monsieur?
Well, why not?
Could I meet Monsieur Madeleine? It's just that I wanted to thank him for this opportunity, a job in his factory.
Fantine, you made a good impression on me. I interviewed you. If you want to thank anyone, thank me.
As I said, I was aware that Inspector Javert, even after all these years, still pursued me. But for him to make any positive connection between the mayor of Moulins and Jean Valjean, the former convict, was next to impossible. Until one miserable rainy day, when I happened along a country road outside our town and came upon a crowd of men in an overturned cart.
Monsieur le Maire! Marcel.
What's happened here? What's wrong?
It's Marcel Fauchelevent, the woodcutter.
Huh?
His horse went down in the mud. Marcel tried to pull him out, but the cart tipped. He's fallen on top of them both.
Marcel, can you hear me?
Is that you, Monsieur? Monsieur Madeleine?
Yeah. Your horse looks pretty bad.
I think both his legs are broken. Poor beast.
Can you manage to squeeze out from under there?
I can't move.
All that wood. We were thinking of trying to pull out each log. That might make the cart lighter and free.
No, not possible. The side of the cart is pressing against Marcel's chest, and both arms are tangled in the wheels. Now, we need a jack to raise the cart from below. If we can just raise it enough, we can pull Marcel out.
They've gone to fetch a jack.
Where'd they go? When?
A few minutes ago to Haché, the blacksmith.
Haché? It'll be an hour before he gets here.
Please, someone.
We can't wait that long.
But what else can we do?
The weight is crushing. Help me. Someone.
Marcel, listen to me. We're going to lift one end of the cart just a little and then drag you out. You hear me, Marcel?
Monsieur Madeleine, the cart is sinking lower into the mud. The rain is...
Did you hear what I said to Marcel? There's still room enough under there for a man to crawl under the cart and raise up one end with his back. It'll only take half a minute, and then we can pull Marcel free. Anyone here with a strong back?
Monsieur le Maire, they all want to help.
Inspector Javert, I didn't see you.
Monsieur Madeleine, I never knew but one man capable of doing what you asked.
Yes?
He was a convict.
Indeed.
Only one man I ever knew with the strength a prisoner at Toulon. But that was many years ago. He'd be over 60 years old today.
I couldn't let that poor woodcutter be crushed to death in front of my eyes. I wedged myself under the cart, near enough to Marcel. I lay flat, and then tried to bring my elbows up to my knees.
Monsieur le Maire, go away. You will be killed. Save yourself. I know I am going to die.
Marcel didn't die. I managed to lift the cart a few inches, and they dragged him out. Then they held each end, giving me enough time to escape also. I stood up. I was all right. One is never too old. As for Marcel, I got him to the hospital in a hurry.
Do you see this, nurse? You know what the mayor did? Yesterday I woke up. I found this 1,000-franc note pinned to my pillow and a letter. You see what it says? Payment for your cart and horse, which I have bought. And I know the cart was crushed to nothing and the horse was dead. And do you know what Mayor Madeleine did today? He got me a job. Me, crippled like this. The doctor says I need to be out of doors, so I am to be the gardener at the Saint Antoine convent. What do you think of that?
Mademoiselle Fantine, I mean, Madame, I have been watching you.
Oh, you have? Nothing I've done wrong, is there?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say so, but you would like to make a few more francs, now wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, I would.
Well, I was thinking there might be an opening in the sorting section. You're in counting now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
It would mean considerably more money.
I have a very good eye for color.
Yes, I noticed that. You always manage to wear nice-looking kerchief or a bit of a ribbon about your throat.
What do I have to do to get the sorting job?
Well, it would depend entirely on you, Fantine. First of all, you will have to learn to do the job. Well, I myself could show you the color differentiations. Now, I'd say the best time for me to show you would be in the evening after the factory is closed down.
in the evening?
Yes, we could have a little supper together first. It would be my pleasure.
Well, I always like to get back and make sure Cosette is sleeping well.
Oh, well, we could do that and then come back, huh?
I wonder, monsieur, could I have a day or so to think it over, perhaps till Monday?
Fantine, I tell you quite frankly, there's nothing to think over. I think we get along quite well, you and I, now, don't we?
Oh, yes, of course.
You see this note on my desk? The orders from Monsieur Madeleine himself to shut down the counting department as of Monday.
No more counting work?
Oh, no, everybody is to be fired, let go. The entire department. Monsieur Madeleine has invented a machine that can count faster and more accurately than any human hands. Yes, he's quite an inventor. So, I think a lot of you, Fantine. But if there's no job, there's no job. I tell you what, come back to my office at the end of the day. We'll talk a little more, huh?
Today?
Yes, after the bell rings.
That would mean I have accepted the job you offer me.
Well, if I don't see you there by 6 o'clock, I shall ask someone else. There's no point in you showing up at this factory on Monday, for there won't be any work, huh? Have I made it clear? Oh, that cannot be sensible, huh? I will take good care of you. I like you. You have nothing to fear from me.
Hypocrisy, contrivance, taking advantage. Victor Hugo etches an indictment of his society, echoes which still reverberate today. And as for Jean Valjean, how safe is his new respected identity? We shall learn all of this when I return shortly with Act Two. As Victor Hugo recounts the tale of the miserable and the poor, Fantine, a young widow with a sickly daughter to care for, has been fired from her job in the factory in the dead of winter. On a snowy day, she goes from store to store in a threadbare coat, begging for work. The snow is blinding. She can hardly see in front of her.
Watch where you're going. You knocked me down.
Why don't you look where you're going?
Don't bother helping me up. I can get up alone.
Hey, it's you. Aren't you Fantine, who used to work in the glass factory?
Let go of me.
Wait a minute. Where are you running to?
I'm not running. I'm looking for work.
Well, I thought you didn't want a job. I offered you one.
What you offered me, I didn't want. Now leave me alone.
Wait a minute. Not so fast. I thought you had a baby girl to take care of. Would do anything.
Not anything. Monsieur, please let me go.
How is the little one?
Cosette is sick. No thanks to you.
No, Fantine, be sensible. What did I have to do with it?
I couldn't buy her the medicine she needs. Or the right kind of food, or milk, or anything.
Well, is that my fault?
I hate you. Get away from me.
Put down that piece of wood, you hear? I'll teach you a lesson. You'll see if I don't.
Inspector Javert, we've just brought in a young female on a complaint from the foreman of the Madeleine Glassworks, Monsieur Jourdain.
What is the complaint?
That she attacked him on the street with a piece of wood.
Why are you bringing this simple assault to my attention?
It's because she used to work in Monsieur Madeleine's glass factory. I knew of your interest in the gentleman. She says she was fired. I wondered why.
Yes, there may be something we can trip him up with. Girl on the streets attacks foreman. Why does she do that? Have her in. No, wait. Go to the mayor's house. It's right next door. Tell him there's an urgent matter at the police station that requires his attention. By the time he gets here, I'll have that girl in such a state she'll swear to anything. Now send her in.
Come in, you. The inspector wishes to talk to you. I shall return with the gentleman as soon as possible.
Good. Young lady, you seem to have gotten yourself into a nice mess.
It's all because of that awful Monsieur Madeleine. He fired the whole department. My job went with it. I haven't worked in months. Brute of a foreman attacked me.
That is not what our gendarme reports.
I tell you, he attacked me, that horrible man.
Did he now? His sworn complaint to the gendarme was he was peacefully walking the street, and you took a stick and beat him about the head.
Inspector, I swear by our Savior that is not true.
You took no stick to him?
To defend myself only. It was he who had me fired from the factory because I refused him.
A moment ago, you told me it was Monsieur Madeleine who had you fired.
That's what I was told.
How well did you get along with Monsieur Madeleine?
Who?
The owner of the factory. Don't tell me you don't know him.
It's true, I never met him.
That is not the report that has come to our attention. We know there was some kind of a liaison between you and Monsieur Madeleine.
I don't know what it could be. I am so cold and tired. And my little girl, she will be worried about me. Cosette, I left her with nothing to eat. Please let me go to her.
Then why don't you tell me about Monsieur Madeleine? Let us be clear about this and you can go. I will even give you some milk to take to your Cosette. Now, you did know him when you were working at the factory.
What do you want me to say?
If you don't tell me what I wish to hear, then I'm afraid it's 6 months in prison for assaulting a citizen in plain view of witnesses and the sworn affidavit of a gendarme.
6 months? What's my child going to do? She's a baby.
That's for you to decide.
I have tried so hard to be honest and truthful. It doesn't pay. Yes, I knew Monsieur Madeleine.
That's better. Now we're getting somewhere. And he had you fired from the factory when you were no longer of use to him.
Yes.
And in the street you mistook Foreman Jourdain for Monsieur Madeleine, and because you were wronged, you beat him about the head.
Is that what you want me to say?
Yes. And you will say it, no matter who asks you.
I will say I knew him, yes.
Otherwise, 6 months. And who knows what will happen to your child while you were in prison.
Here is the mayor, Inspector Javert.
I was just on my way here.
We have had some unfortunate information from this young lady.
Oh, my dear. Is this the girl who was thrown into the snow? I was just coming here when I learned she'd been taken by the police to your office.
Madame, tell this gentleman, repeat to him what you have just told me.
Throw a blanket around her shoulders. Can't you see she's suffering from exposure? Look at the poor child. Heavens, to find a citizen of Moulins in this condition.
Madame, I asked a question. Your name is Fantine?
Yes.
You were employed in the Madeleine Glass Works?
Yes.
Were you? I didn't know that.
And have you not just made a sworn statement that you had personal relations with Monsieur Madeleine, owner of those works?
Oh, come now. I've never seen this child before. She told you no such thing.
Did you or did you not say you knew Monsieur Madeleine?
Yes.
Guess what?
Yes. I knew him.
And we all know what that means.
It's quite obvious this young lady is not well. Not in her right senses. She appears very ill.
She made quite a serious accusation.
Oh, what was it?
It was you she thought she was attacking in the street.
Inspector Javert, let this girl go. She did not attack me.
Oh, I'm afraid I cannot dismiss this. She did assault a gentleman in the street. We have a sworn deposition.
Inspector, listen to me. You're an honest man. I'll have no difficulty making myself understood to you. I was crossing the marketplace when I saw the gendarme, Pierre, leading this girl away. A crowd had gathered. I inquired what had happened. The man you say she assaulted, if he was my foreman, Jourdain, he was in the wrong. And in common justice, he should have been arrested, not she.
And what about her accusation a moment ago about you, Monsieur le Maire? If untrue, it is an insult.
But you told me I had to.
That concerns myself. Whatever her reasons. You will kindly obey me and let her go. I heard Fantine's story. I told her that what Jourdain had said about closing down the counting department was absolutely untrue. I heard about her little daughter, and I promised to have the child taken care of. In the meantime, Fantine herself was undernourished and ill. I had her taken to the hospital where she could recover. A month later, Inspector Javert paid me a visit.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
What is it, Inspector Javert? What did you wish to see me about?
A serious misdeed has been committed, sir.
What deed?
An inferior agent of authority has failed in his high respect to a high office in the city. I have come, as is my duty, to bring the fact to your knowledge.
Who is this agent?
Myself.
Oh? And who holds that high office?
You do, Monsieur le Maire. Your Honor, I have come to request that you will take action to have me dismissed from the police service.
What's come over you, Javert? You wish to be removed?
Discharged.
Very well, discharged. I don't understand it.
You will. 4 weeks ago, after the scene about that girl where you ordered me out of my own office, I was furious, and I denounced you.
Denounced me?
To the chief prefect of police at Paris.
As a mayor who interfered with the police, eh?
I denounced you as a prisoner. I thought you were so. I've had these notions for a long time. Your mysterious appearance in Moulin with enough money to build a factory. Your physical height, your extraordinary strength. You remember the incident with old Marcel. How you lifted the cart out of the mud. And a few other suspicions of my own. It was absurd. But I took you for a man with the name of Jean Valjean.
What name did you say?
Jean Valjean. A convict I first saw in Toulon 20 years ago. Now, he had already served many years for theft. You could not be the man.
I'm glad you came to that decision.
I had to. You see, the real Jean Valjean has been found.
He has been found?
They arrested a man who first refused to give his name and then said he had forgotten it.
Well, what has that to do with this Valjean?
Oh, this man is clever. He pretends to be an idiot, having lost his mind. He was arrested at Eau Cloche for stealing cider apples. He was taken to the departmental prison at Arras. Now, there he was recognized by a fellow convict who said, "I know you. We were in the same galley together. You are Jean Valjean." Now, word of this had just reached the Paris prefect's office when I was denouncing you. They laughed at me, so I went down to Arras myself, and I saw the man.
You saw the man who denied he was Valjean?
The truth is the truth. I recognized him, too. That man was Jean Valjean.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Monsieur le Maire, forgive me. Forgive me. Now that I have seen the real Jean Valjean, I cannot understand how I could have believed anything else. Again, I ask your pardon.
So what is going to happen now?
If he is Jean Valjean, he is a former convict. It is no longer a matter for the police court, but for the assizes. He is to be tried at Arras, and I have been called as a witness.
Is that all, Inspector?
No. I must be discharged.
Javert, you're a man of honor. You exaggerate your faults. I insist that you continue as Inspector of Police.
I cannot allow it.
I say it again. You attach too much importance to what you call denouncing me. It's the duty of men in your job to suspect.
Without proof, in a moment of passion for revenge? Had any of my subordinates done what I have done, I would have declared him unworthy of his badge and discharged him. Monsieur le Maire, if I were not severe with myself now, my whole life, everything I have done would be an injustice. Oh, it's easy enough to be kind and good. The difficulty is to be just. And I am bound to treat myself as I would treat another man. All I demand, Monsieur le Maire, is the discharge of Inspector Javert.
What am I afraid of? I'm saved. All is settled. Javert, who so long annoyed me, will now leave me in peace. He's got his Jean Valjean. What wrong have I done? I've lived the way the bishop made me promise to live. I've lived as a just man. I've closed the door on my past. Why should I be punished again?
Remember me, Jean, the Bishop of Digne. Monseigneur, welcome. Remember.
Are you here? Or are you in my mind?
We made a pact, Jean. My candlesticks for your true being. I took your soul from Satan, begged you to shut the door against him. But you will open it again if you let that innocent man be punished in your name.
What shall I do? Give up all the good I've done? Give up helping the poor, bringing work and contentment to a city of people? What use is it if I liberate that man they think is Jean Valjean and denounce myself?
It is a question that can only be replied to by the Lord himself, and how much of his spirit remains in you. I pray he will help you find the answer.
Listen to Victor Hugo's postscript to this very scene. Valjean takes the bishop's candlesticks and in a mad moment tosses them into the fire. He will destroy them, obliterate the bishop, everything. He will remain the mayor. But again, he hears the bishop calling his name. I shall return shortly with Act 3. It was inevitable. There was no other way. Jean Valjean was not a thief. In his heart, he always gave, never took. That society had punished him for that, no matter. Valjean was an honest man. He simply could not allow an innocent man to be condemned in his place. Quickly, he rescued the silver candlesticks from the fire and blessed the bishop who had blessed him.
I arrived late the next day at the courthouse in Arras. I found a seat away at the back. Inspector Javert sat at the witness table. He did not see me. No one, in fact, noticed me. All were looking at the poor creature being questioned by the public prosecutor. I knew then his only crime was that he could not remember who he was.
Mr. No Name, you don't mind if I call you that, do you? Do you, Mr. No Name, really expect us to believe that you do not remember that Jean Valjean is your name?
No, that is not my name. I do not know my name.
But, Mr. No Name, if you don't remember, it could be Jean Valjean. We have witnesses who seem to know more about you than you do yourself. We have the Inspector of Police, Inspector Javert, who positively identifies you. Could he be mistaken?
I don't know, Monsieur Javert.
Inspector Javert. We have other witnesses who are chained with you at Toulon and we shall ask them to appear presently.
No, I was never in Toulon.
Prisoner, I ask you 2 questions. First, did you, yes or no, climb over the wall at Haute Cloche, break a branch, and steal apples? Second, yes or no, are you the liberated convict Jean Valjean?
I have stolen nothing. I'm a man who doesn't eat every day.
How do you manage to remain so big and strong?
I do odd jobs.
Can you remember who you worked for?
Not at this moment.
Too bad. What do you remember, Mr. No Name?
I was walking toward Eau Cloche after the flood. It made the whole country yellow. Nothing growing in the sand except a few blades of grass. I found a branch with apples lying on the ground. I picked it up. I never thought it would bring me into such trouble. I don't know why. I can't remember my name. I have not stolen. I only pick things up lying on the ground.
May it please the President and the court, in the presence of these confused denials on the part of the prisoner, we would like to call upon Police Inspector Javert as to the identity of this prisoner.
I recognize him perfectly. This man has a name. It is Jean Valjean, an ex-convict of a very violent character. He is filled with a hate for society and is an enemy of society, and in my opinion, must be put away.
No, I hate no one.
It was with great reluctance that he was set free when he had completed his time at Toulon. I know this man by his size, his hands, and his face.
Inspector Javert, I thank you. You, have nothing further to add?
I repeat, I recognize him perfectly.
3 convicts were then produced. Brevet, Chenildieu, and Cochepaille. Brevet turned to the prisoner and said, I recognize him as Jean Valjean. He looks like a brute now, but I imagine age has brutalized him.
Brevet, you may go and sit down. Prisoner, remain standing. I call now upon the convict Chenildieu.
He also identified the poor man by saying, I should think I do recognize Valjean. We were fastened to the same chain for 5 years.
Sit down. Witness convict Cochepaille to the stand, please.
Cochepaille also pointed a finger at the prisoner, remembering some nickname they had given me.
Convict Cochepaille, did you say this man, Jean Valjean, was named Jean the Jack because he was so strong?
Yes, I did it.
Brevet, Chenildieu, Cochepaille, look this way. Look at me.
It's Monsieur Madeleine. Monsieur le Maire. I didn't know you were here.
Fellow prisoners, don't you recognize me? Gentlemen of the jury, acquit the prisoner. Monsieur le Président, have me arrested. That man is not guilty. I am Jean Valjean. I will not occupy the time of the court any longer. I shall go away. I'm not arrested, and I have several things to do. The public prosecutor knows who I am. He knows where I am going. And he will order me to be arrested when he thinks proper. I had told the court I had much to do. But only one thing to me was important. To go to the hospital where Fantine was recuperating and make sure she was reunited with her child. But when I got there, they told me someone had spirited Cosette away. And because her mother, Fantine, was so weak, no one dared tell her the truth.
Oh, Monsieur Madeleine, why don't they bring me Cosette?
She's in the nursery along with several other young ones. Don't you worry.
You saw her?
No, I've just returned from Arras. But as soon as I get the doctor's report about you, I'm going to the nursery to make Cosette's acquaintance.
I still don't understand why I couldn't see her. Only a little weak, but if I saw her, it would give me such strength I could get out of this bed and dance.
Fantine, you certainly are stubborn. The doctors say you must be patient to regain your strength. Believe me, I think it would be a great strain for you if that door behind me were to open and there stood Cosette.
No!
Fantine, what is it?
In the door. There. Oh, Monsieur Madeleine, save me.
Standing in the door was Javert. He had come for me. I knew that. But Fantine did not. All she could remember is that day not so long ago when Javert had threatened her with 6 months in prison. The day I had countermanded his order.
Oh, save me from him.
Don't be alarmed, child. He hasn't come for you. I know what you want, Javert.
If you know, then get up. Well, are you coming? Maybe this will assist you.
You needn't hold me by the collar.
Monsieur le Maire.
There is no Monsieur le Maire here.
Javert.
Call me Monsieur l'Inspector.
Inspector Javert, I should like to say a word to you in private.
Speak up. People talk aloud to me.
I have a request to make of you.
I told you to speak up to me.
Heard only by yourself.
What do I care about that? I'm not listening.
Grant me 3 days. 3 days to go and bring back with me this unhappy woman's child. I'll pay you whatever you ask. You can come with me if you like.
You must be joking. You ask me to give you 3 days so that you can escape again.
To go and find Cosette? Then she's not here? Where is she? Monsieur le Maire, you promised. You said she was in the nursery.
Be quiet. Silence!
Somebody help me, Monsieur Madeleine.
I tell you, there is no Monsieur Madeleine. And no Monsieur le Maire. But there is a thief, a brigand, a convict by the name of Jean Valjean, and I have got him. That's what there is.
No. Cosette!
God, you've killed this woman.
Oh, my baby.
Nurse! Doctor!
Get away from that bed.
No, Javert.
You have made a big mistake hitting me.
Javert, stand as far away from me as you can. I advise you not to disturb me at present.
Say a prayer over her, if you like.
Fantine, I don't know if there is life enough in you to hear me. I don't know if my voice will catch your spirit as it leaves here. But I swear to you by all that is holy, all that my life has meant and will mean and must mean. One day, I shall find Cosette and care for her in your name, as if she were my own granddaughter. Sleep, Fantine. Sleep forever. Remember me. Never forget. Faith, hope, and love abide. And the greatest of these is love.
Victor Hugo tells us when at that final moment Jean Valjean spoke those words, that Fantine, even with her last breath, smiled, that her face was strangely lighted, for death is the entrance into brilliant light. I shall return to you shortly. And so we conclude Part 2 of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, a novel which to this day has remained one of the greatest expressions of man's struggle to maintain dignity, charity, and love. Part 3 will continue the story of Jean Valjean as created by one of the most far-seeing literary figures our world has ever known. Our cast included Alexander Scourby, Bernard Grant, Terry Keane, Russell Horton, and Earl Hammond. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Raven House Paperback Mysteries. This is E.G. Marshall, inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. To herald its 9th season on the air, the Mystery Theater is presenting that classic story of crime and retribution, Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. We have been tracing the story of Jean Valjean, who served a 19-year sentence for stealing a loaf of bread. After an aborted attempt to steal silverware from a kindly bishop, he has gone straight. So straight, in fact, that he was regarded by everyone in the town of Moulins as the paragon of kindness and generosity, factory owner, and, eventually, mayor. But his life as an honest man was cut short by fate. And once again, Jean Valjean found himself in prison.
Valjean, what did you do? I made it. I ran. They didn't catch me. Listen to that bell. They ring it like that when there's death or trouble. The nuns must have hit you. It doesn't matter. I have the ivory crucifix. Yes, they saw me. I knew it. That's why the alarm bell. Jean, you can't hide here. They'll find you, and that will mean prison again.
Our drama, No Escape, Part 3 of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, has been especially adapted for the Mystery Theater by Gerald Keane, and stars Alexander Scourby as Jean Valjean and Bernard Grant as Javert. I shall return shortly with Act 1. Our Mystery Theater curtain rises on Episode 3 of the study of crime and social injustice, Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. Our stage is set to reveal the tale of an ex-convict, Jean Valjean, who tries to live according to the law, but is relentlessly pursued by one man who had dogged his trail for 20 years. This man is a police inspector by the name of Javert.
I am Javert. It was I who knew deep down, and all along, that the man masquerading as the mayor of Moulins was none other than the ex-prisoner, Jean Valjean. For a reason which I must confess I cannot fathom. In order to protect an idiot who looked like him, this Valjean admitted in an open court he was the real ex-convict. I arrested him. Now, it is 12 years after his incarceration, and again he has escaped from prison and disappeared. If I do nothing else in life, I shall find him. Marcel! Huh?
How is it calls my name? Who are you standing in the dark in my cottage?
I've been waiting for you, Marcel.
Who are you?
Do you remember the Mayor Madeleine?
Mayor Madeleine?
Yes.
The one who confessed he was a criminal and was arrested?
Is that all you remember about me, Marcel? Who was it who secured for you the post of gardener in this convent?
It was you, the mayor. How did you get here? Monsieur Madeleine himself. I can't get over it.
Not Madeleine. I am Jean Valjean. Remember? Marcel, I'm glad you're still alive. I have so few I can turn to.
If you had not lifted the cap from my back that day, I would not now be alive. Forgive me.
Oh, that was so long ago.
How long? My memory plays tricks.
12 years.
I thought they condemned you to life imprisonment.
I escaped.
But why are you here? This convent of Saint-Antoine is no place to hide. The Sisters of Mercy are not allowed to give sanctuary to an escaped convict.
Marcel, I have not come here to hide. I have come to get the daughter of a woman who should not have died so young. At her bedside, I swore to her I would protect her daughter, that she would always be taken care of.
Her daughter is here at Saint-Antoine?
I pray so. I hope so. When the child was 6 years old, I brought her here. The Mother Superior promised me she could stay. Now I have come for her. Will you help me, Marcel?
Who is she? What is her name?
Cosette.
Cosette?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know her. She never entered the order. She comes to the gardens often and helps me. She is 18 now. Don't tell me. Is it you she is always talking about? Are you the grandfather she speaks about?
When she was little and her mother died, I led her to believe that. I told her when I brought her here that one day I would return and we would have a home. But, as you say, I am a hunted man. So I cannot openly ring the gate bell and inform the Mother Superior I wish to take Cosette. Now look at the way I'm dressed. My clothes are rags covered by this cape and this wide-brimmed hat. But you will help me, I know.
When will I do this?
Tonight, if it is possible.
For you, anything I can do, I will, but we shall have to wait till morning when Cosette comes into the gardens, where I'm planting and weeding.
Tomorrow, then. I thank you.
For saving my life, Jean Valjean. How can I ever do enough? Mademoiselle Cosette.
Good morning, Marcel. Oh, what a beautiful day it is.
Did I ever tell you, mademoiselle, that I knew your grandfather?
Well, no. You never said a word, did you? All these years, and you never said a word.
I did not expect to see him ever again.
You're joking about seeing my grandfather.
Oh, no. It is not a joke. I have seen him. He came last night to take you away.
I cannot believe it. Where is he?
I am to arrange everything. He does not wish to disturb the Mother Superior, and so he asks that you leave the convent alone.
Just by myself?
Yes.
When?
Tonight, as soon as it is dark. After the evening prayer at 6, you are to walk to the bottom of the main road. The hedge of wild roses. There will be a hay wagon waiting for you. You are not to speak to the driver. You are to get in, and you will be taken to your destination.
I, Javert, Chief of Inspectors, did not know that Jean Valjean had escaped from prison, or that he had returned to Paris. In fact, he occupied very little place in my mind, until one day in December, I was called into the commissioner's office at the Paris prefecture.
Javert, remember Jean Valjean, the condemned prisoner you had so much trouble with?
I do indeed, Commissioner.
The man is dead.
Really?
Look at this report. Escaped. Fell in the Seine undrowned. I thought you'd be interested. That's why I sent for you.
Well. This is a piece of good news.
And here's another piece of news. Interesting how these related events come in bunches. A report that last night a girl of 18 was kidnapped from the convent of Saint-Antoine.
A nun was kidnapped?
No. A young girl who was boarding there. Had been there since she was a child of 6.
I don't see any connection with the Valjean affair.
The girl's name is Cosette. And the Sisters of Mercy reported that her deceased mother's name was Fantine.
Fantine.
An unusual name.
Fantine.
I thought it might ring a bell. Seems a stranger has been seen in the area the day before yesterday. A tall man with a cape and a wide-brimmed hat pulled over his head. This stranger, they think, walked in and made off with her. What do you think of that?
I don't know what to think. Especially since it says here, Valjean is dead.
I merely pass along the information. But I do remember a dozen years ago, after the Valjean confession that he was posing as Monsieur Madeleine, the mayor, when you went to arrest him, wasn't he at the bedside of a dying woman called Fantine?
You have a good memory. What is the name of that convent?
Saint Antoine. The patron saint, by the way, of the hard-pressed.
Jean, what happened yesterday?
All went well.
But why are you back here tonight?
Cosette is installed in a small place near the Luxembourg Garden.
Oh, you are mad to come back here. The Mother Superior is furious. The sisters are searching everywhere for Cosette. They had me on the carpet for hours. The police came. Sister Therese passed away at midnight. Oh, such a day.
I had to come back for Cosette's clothes. All she took was on her back.
I beg you, go now. The clothes are not worth your safety.
Cosette wants a crucifix that belonged to her mother.
The ivory crucifix, yes, I know it. It is still in the room, over her bed.
Can you get it for me? No, I can't ask that of you. You show me where her room was. Draw me a map. I'll find the ivory crucifix myself. Marcel, I want that map now. Marcel.
What did he do? Listen to that bell. He did run that way when there is death or trouble. They must have seen you.
It doesn't matter. I have the crucifix. Yes, they saw me. 2 sisters walked in the door as I was pulling it from the wall. They ran out shouting for the Mother Superior.
I knew it. You cannot hide here. They'll find you.
Marcel, are you up?
Blessed Virgin. There she is. The Mother Superior. Get under the bed.
Yes.
Under the bed.
Marcel, may I speak with you?
Certainly, Mother Superior. What is the matter?
The man with the wide-brimmed hat. He has returned.
What man?
The one seen in the village before Cosette disappeared. I have sent for the police. And Marcel, I want you to stand by the gate. The inspector and his men could be here any time. That this should happen the night our dear sister Therese was called to the bosom of the Lord.
Don't worry. I will show the police everywhere.
Oh, not the dead room, of course. That would be sacrilege. Our beloved sister Therese passed over, lying there, awaiting her burial tomorrow in the vault under the chapel altar. Marcel, I count on you. Be at the gate. Now I must go and stop that bell. The damage is done.
You can come out now, under the bed. You heard her. A fine mess we are in. The police are bound to come in here. Where can I hide you?
I'll go the way I came, over the wall.
No. You can't do that. Who knows where the police are patrolling
And the dogs.
No, Marcel, they won't catch me. I've made a career of escape.
Wait. I have an idea. You will take the place of Sister Therese.
Huh? Of the sister who will be buried under the chapel?
It is one of my duties to take care of funerals. Nail up the coffins and assist the gravedigger at the cemetery. Sister Therese wishes to be buried in her own coffin. Now, do not laugh, but she has used a coffin as a bed for the last 20 years, and we shall bury her under the altar to respect her dying wish. That leaves me with a second coffin.
A second coffin?
Government coffin. The government sends a coffin. The next day, it sends a hearse and the undertaker's man to carry her to the cemetery. I accompany it. You, dear friend, will be in it.
Marcel, a stroke of genius. I couldn't have thought of a better escape myself.
Oh, but another thought. How will you breathe?
No, well, don't hammer all the nails down. Where my head is, leave the space of a centimeter. Once in the grave, I'll pry it open.
If anyone can do this, it is you. I do not know where you find the courage.
I have an ivory crucifix in my hand, and a young girl who waits for her grandfather. That is the source of my strength.
How cleverly Victor Hugo draws tight the strings that bind his characters. The terror and the sadness of a man banging his head against the stone wall of society. When our play is over, I'll tell you what happened in Hugo's own personal life that triggered this epic drama. I shall return shortly with Act 2. I am happy to report that via the coffin and the grave, Jean Valjean did make his escape to the Latin Quarter of Paris, where he rejoined his ward, Cosette. The months passed. It is spring, and as Victor Hugo designs the fate of his characters, he introduces us to Marius, a young man who lives on the floor below in the same house.
Are you Marius?
I am, monsieur, and you?
Courfeyrac, your landlord.
We haven't met. I generally deal with the concierge. You've come for the rent.
Monsieur Marius, you are a month in arrears. I cannot run an apartment house like that. I also have bills to pay.
Well, I happen to be very short now. I'm about to take my bar examination.
You have no relatives who could lend you something extra to tide you over?
My parents are dead. I had a small inheritance. It's almost all gone. I'm afraid I'm quite alone in the world.
Perhaps a friend who would extend a loan.
Yes, one. A student lawyer like myself. He lives with his mother, but I would never borrow a sou from Paul.
Then what are we going to do?
Well, perhaps you could wait?
How little money do you have?
15 francs.
You're a nice young man, and I'm sure you will make your way in the world. I certainly won't press you for the rent, but you will need more than 15 francs to live on until you are a practicing lawyer.
I realize that.
Have you clothes you could sell?
Just what you see in the armoire over there.
Any jewelry?
A gold watch.
May I have a look?
As you please.
I have an idea. Do you know English?
No, I don't. Not very well.
Do you know German?
Not really. I know a little of both languages, but not much.
Oh, that is too bad.
Why so?
Well, a friend of mine, a publisher, is preparing an encyclopedia for which you could have translated English or German articles. The pay is little, but at least it's possible to live on.
I will improve my English and German.
But in the meantime, Marius,
I will have to eat my clothes and my watch.
Marius, whatever is the matter with you? The Paris winter is over. It's April. You look so glum.
Oh, forgive me, Paul. I'm not unhappy, really. It's anxiety, I think.
You're anxious about what? Spring is in the air. We both passed our bar exams. I'm going to be apprenticed to a law firm. You have a translating job with a publisher.
If I tell you, you'll laugh at me. We turn this way.
But if we go straight, we can feed the swan.
Paul, please. I wish to go this way.
Ah, there is a secret reason we are taking this path. A woman? Marius, you have a rendezvous with a woman? Is that the problem?
I have no rendezvous. That is the problem.
Oh, she is beautiful?
Oh, yes.
What does she say to you, this love of your life?
We've never talked.
Not said a word? You just look at one another?
She doesn't look at me.
Oh, how sad. How long have you been doing this?
Since February. She walks in these gardens every day.
The two of you alone and separately, walking in the Luxembourg and never speaking? Marius, this is tragic.
No, she's not alone. She's with a white-haired, tall gentleman. Come, we must walk faster.
Marius, what is your hurry?
I must get to a certain park bench before she arrives. They're already here.
They are? Where?
Over there. See?
Well, now what?
We sit on this bench right here. I have a book in my pocket. I sit here and pretend to read, see? And without being observed, I can sneak a look at her over my book. Oh, isn't she beautiful? The old man is nice looking, too.
I think I know those two from somewhere.
You do?
My dear Marius, if you wish to get to know this girl, you'll have to do better than sitting yards away in a park day after day.
Well, I will. When they leave here tomorrow, I shall follow them and find out where she lives.
You don't know that? Well, I can tell you that. She lives in the same house as you do. That's where I've seen her before, and him.
She lives in the same house?
Cosette, is that you wandering about the apartment this time of night?
Oh, I am sorry, Grandfather. I did not mean to wake you. But I could not sleep. But I am glad you are awake. The strangest things have been happening. Something always seems to wake me at midnight. It started about, 2 weeks ago. I did not want to say anything. I did not want to alarm you.
Do you stay up long?
1 hour, 2 hours.
Oh.
Finally, I talked myself into going back to bed. But tonight it was worse.
What? What was worse?
The man in the cape.
Oh?
Tonight he looked up at me and saw me. I know he saw me standing at the window.
Now, what kind of cape? What man? I wear a cape.
The cape of a gendarme of high rank. He has been standing across the street and watching this house. Sometimes he sits on the bench, but he never looks away. So tonight, when our eyes met, I felt I had to go downstairs and find out why he was there.
While I was sleeping, you went outside in the middle of the night in your nightdress?
I put on slippers and this coat over me, but I did not go outside. I went down, opened the door slowly, but the man in the cape had gone.
I don't want you ever to do that again, Cosette. To go out in the dead of night. You could be murdered, anything.
You frighten me so, Grandfather.
I mean to. This is serious.
But
tomorrow night I shall watch from this window myself. And then we shall see.
You don't sound a bit afraid.
I'm not. I shall never again be afraid. Now, go to bed, my dear. And sleep well.
Marius, I must have been out of my head to sit on that bench with you today, waiting for the girl. And the only one on the opposite bench was the man with the white hair.
I can't understand it. It's never happened before. He came alone. There must be something wrong.
Why you cannot get to know them in your own house is beyond me.
It's my fault. You see, Paul, I'm ashamed of the few clothes I still haven't, and so I leave the house by the back stairs.
It would never occurred to me that you look shabby.
Paul, will you come up to my room for a few minutes?
I promised my mother I'd be home in time for dinner, so I must leave you.
Oh, Paul.
Yes?
I'll pick you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Monsieur, I beg your pardon. May I have a word with you before you step inside your house?
Certainly. I always enjoy a word with a man in a cape when it represents the law.
I am Javert, Inspector of Police. You are Marius, are you not?
Yes, how did you know?
It is my business. Do you know a man with white hair who lives in your house with a girl of 18, blue-eyed, slim, long blonde hair?
Why do you ask me? At least a dozen people live here.
Come now, Marius. One of my men who has been keeping watch here tells me that almost every day you go to the Luxembourg Gardens and have been sitting on a bench quite near the man and the girl.
I go to the gardens to read. As for the inference, your operative is mistaken. I don't know the people you speak of. I have never met them. I have never talked with them. May I ask, what is the reason you wish such information?
You may ask, but I cannot answer you.
Come here, Cosette. Come here to the window. What do you see?
Where?
Down on the street in front of the house. That's the young man, isn't it?
Yes.
The one we've talked about who watches us in the Luxembourg Gardens? Do you know whom he's talking to?
The man in the cape. Who is he?
His name is Javert. He has been plaguing me since before you were born, my child. He is the Inspector of Police. Now, will you believe me when I tell you the young man who has been watching us almost every day in the past month is not only smitten with you. There's more to it. It's me that he is watching. I don't know how long we have before the police intend to storm this house and take me with them. But I can tell you this, Cosette. We are not waiting up here to find out.
But, Javert, how can you be so positive this man with white hair you describe is Valjean?
It's a feeling I have, Commissioner.
And you expect me to issue a warrant to search the house on the basis of that? A hunch?
I repeat, the elderly man has a young woman with him. It could be the 18-year-old Cosette who disappeared from the convent.
It's possible. But we have only the vaguest description of the girl. There are many slim, blue-eyed blonde girls of the same age on every street in Paris and more indoors. No, I cannot issue a warrant. A French citizen still has some rights, Javert. I don't have to tell you one needs actual proof. Do you have any?
I will get it.
And now I suggest you attend to your duties and forget this man.
Commissioner, may I be given a fortnight's leave without pay? May I have that?
You believe so strongly that the white-haired man is Valjean?
An escaped convict must be returned to serve out his sentence. If the law is not obeyed, what is left but anarchy?
No matter where he wishes to stop and rest, Jean Valjean cannot. Javert is all that is healed, a nemesis, a strange officer of the law, not indifferent or impartially weighing transgressions upon the scales of justice, but relentless and, yes, revengeful. How long can Valjean endure this? Who will weaken first? The ex-prisoner or the policeman? The hunted or the hunter? I shall return shortly with Act 3. unyielding pursuit through the years had made Jean Valjean more wary and Javert more impatient. Is it justice that Javert seeks, or vengeance? One has the feeling that as long as Valjean lives, so does Javert. If Jean Valjean were no more, Javert would die, having no reason to live. Javert speaks.
The trap must be cleverly sprung and carefully baited. In order to set it, I needed proof. To get that proof, I had to hear his voice. A doctor occupied the upstairs apartment next to the man I believed was Valjean. I arranged with this doctor to leave his apartment, and I found him another. At first he was reluctant, but I persuaded him. For the sake of law, sometimes arms have to be twisted. Shortly afterwards, I went to see the landlord.
There's only one other family on the third floor. To be honest with you, monsieur, the third floor was originally one big apartment, but I had partitions put up, making it into 2 apartments.
That's too bad. A partition is only a very thin wall.
I don't think you will be disturbed, monsieur. The other family on that floor is an elderly gentleman and his granddaughter. I hope you won't think this impertinent of me, monsieur, but may I ask your name and where you work?
I am Inspector Javert of the Paris police. I am engaged in a matter of delicate surveillance. You will, of course, not make mention of this to any of your lodgers. Good day. Shut the door, Cosette.
Wasn't that a nice walk we had today, Grandfather? I love watching the boats on the Seine.
Lock it.
Oh, do you mean that?
Lock the door, yes, please. Cosette, sit down. I want to speak to you.
Before I have made us afternoon coffee?
Cosette, I am not really your grandfather.
What?
When your mother was alive, you were very little. You and she lived in a town not far from Paris, Moulin. Do you remember that?
Yes. I think I do.
Your mother had a beautiful name. I'm sure you remember that.
Fantine.
Yes. I promised her I would take care of you always. Cosette, my real name is Jean Valjean. Once, when I was very young, almost your age, I stole a loaf of bread because my sister and her 7 little ones were starving.
Oh.
I was sent to the worst prison in France, Toulon. My dear child, I paid for that crime with 19 years of my life. When I got out, I was bitter against the world. I wasn't out of prison long before I stole some silver from a bishop. But he was a very good man. And he told the police he had given me the silver. It was the first kind thing anyone had done for me in 20 years. He brought me to the safety of the Lord and made me promise to lead a good life. And I did, Cosette. It's been said that I put the town of Moulin on the map of France. I started a glass bead factory where your mother worked. I built a hospital, tried to help everyone I could. But I was sent back to prison.
For what?
There is on this earth one man, a police officer, whose name is Javert. He was an assistant jailer in Toulon, where I was first imprisoned. He has never let me be. He always suspected that I, who was now known as Monsieur Madeleine, the respected mayor of Moulin, was in truth Jean Valjean. One day, a poor, demented creature who looked very much like me was arrested. Because everyone swore he was me, he would have been sent to prison for his whole life. I could not let him suffer in my place. I had no choice but to give myself up.
Why do you tell me all this now?
Because I am certain once again they have found me out.
I think you're chasing Will-o'-the-Wisp.
He's wily. He's clever. I took rooms next to his, Commissioner. Last night, I listened at the wall that separates our apartments. He never made a sound.
I don't understand.
It's his voice I want to hear. That voice that I've heard so often in Moulin. Then I will know he is Valjean.
Ah, yes.
He never made a sound, I tell you. Is that normal? Not one word all evening. Now, I could hear them eating a dinner she had prepared, washing up the dishes. But the entire time, not one word was spoken.
It seems this man divines he is being observed.
Tonight, I will smoke him out. If he tries to escape, I want him to run into the arms of our men. May I have 3?
All right.
Marius, it seems to me your entire life is being spent sitting, waiting on park benches. Here you are on the bench outside your own house. Do you know it's after 5 o'clock now?
Look. 2 policemen and a third. They've stopped, looked in the doorway. Now they're moving on.
What's the matter, Marius? You've gone quite white.
Yesterday, after you left me, a police inspector named Javert stopped me and asked after them.
Asked about the white-haired man and your girl?
Yes. Wanted to know what I knew about them. I told him nothing.
Oh, that is peculiar. How much longer are you going to sit out here?
I don't know.
Oh, you are stubborn.
No, I am in love.
All right. I'll wait with you 1 more half hour, and that's it. I told you, Marius, it was too late for them to go walking in the park.
I wasted half a day. I feel like a fool.
The only reason I'm going up to your place is I expect the reward of a glass of wine.
Oh, you may have 2 glasses, Paul.
Marius, you're behaving like an idiot over that girl.
Shh, not so loud. They're right above us, and they'll hear us.
There are important things happening these days in France. Only you're too lovesick to know what's going on. France is on the brink of another revolution, and we need all the bright, intelligent men like you on our side.
I'm not interested in politics. Now, please be quiet. Their apartment is right up there at the head of the stairs, the 3rd floor.
Is that you, Marius?
Yes, it is, Monsieur Courfeyrac. Who is that? The landlord. He's up there on the landing above us.
I left the map in a pail down where you are. Will you bring it up to me, please?
You take them up, Paul. I'll carry the pail. Go on. He's a nice man, and I owe him several months' rent.
Thank you, Marius. Bring the pail in here. You two, sir, with the mop. Just lean it against the wall.
Well, this is, who lives in this apartment?
No one at the moment. I'm doing a little cleaning, and hopefully I'll have it rented this week.
Is this where the gentleman with the white hair and the young lady, is this theirs?
It was. I was sorry to lose them. But the gentleman came to me at 6 this morning and said they had to leave immediately.
They have left? For good?
So far as I know. They took everything, as you can see. By 7, they were all paid up. Half hour later, a van came for their things, and off they went in a hansom cab.
Oh, that can't be. It's impossible. You have no idea where they went.
I didn't say that. They were catching the afternoon train to Cherbourg, and from there, the night boat to England.
Javert, your Valjean and your so-called kidnapped young lady are now out of our jurisdiction. If indeed they have gone to England, content yourself with the fact there is nothing we here in Paris can do about it. Yes, Henri?
There is a Monsieur Courfeyrac here.
He says the inspector asked him to come here if he found anything of value in an apartment recently vacated.
Commissioner, this may be a lead. May we ask him in?
Henri, bring the man to my office.
Courfeyrac is the landlord of that house. It was he who informed me those two had left for England.
I sincerely hope we can dispose of this matter quickly. Word from Desbois, the Rue Saint-Croix, and 20 different spots in Paris is that there are groups gathering, a riot brewing. I am going to need you, Javert, to go out and organize police patrols where they are needed.
I was told to come up here.
Come in, Courfeyrac. This is the commissioner.
Ah, an honor.
What have you found?
I have it all here in my pocket. I wrapped it up in my handkerchief. Scraps of paper under the mattress. I didn't find them until I turned the mattress over to make the bed with fresh linen, which I always do for new tenants. Here it is. Do you see?
Scraps of paper it is, torn up into small pieces. You did the right thing, Courfeyrac.
I think this piece belongs in that corner. It's a yellow passport. By heaven, a yellow passport.
Valjean must have torn it up and placed it under his mattress, planning to get rid of it.
Javert, my apologies. Look, V-A-L-J-E-A. Well, the rest of it is here somewhere. Javert, my apologies. You were right. I'll be the first to acknowledge it. Unfortunately, if he has skipped to England, there is little we can do about apprehending him.
I shall get him. If it's the last thing I ever do.
One must not threaten the fates that way. What good would it do you if it were the last act of your life? Now let's bend our efforts towards suppressing this riot before it turns into a full-scale revolution.
In the 1830s in France, if one did not like the government, one did not vote it out, one shot it out. Writes Victor Hugo, about 6 in the evening, the streets were a battlefield. The rioters at one end, the troops at the other. Jean Valjean had gone out to have a look and was caught between two fires for nearly half an hour. End quote. All, by the way, reminding you that Victor Hugo himself experienced what he wrote about. I shall return shortly. We have concluded episode 3 of Victor Hugo's magnificent Les Misérables. I promised you a behind-the-scenes look at the author himself and why he had no choice but to write this great novel. It grew out of tragedy, a personal tragedy. On September 4th, 1843, Victor Hugo picked up a newspaper in a cafe and learned that his recently married daughter, Leopoldine, had drowned in the Seine. That night, he began writing this book, always remembered for its extraordinary humanity. Join us again when our curtain rises on this unusual 5-part presentation to signal the start of Mystery Theater's 9th year on the air. Our cast included Alexander Scourby, Bernard Grant, E.V. Juster, Bob Caliban, and Lloyd Batista. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Raven House Paperback Mysteries. This is E.G. Marshall, inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. To inaugurate the Mystery Theater's 9th season, we are honored to present in 5 parts that classic of crime, fate, and condemnation, Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. Today, in our 4th episode, we continue with Jean Valjean, a 60-year-old escaped convict, originally imprisoned for stealing a loaf of bread. Were you to add up the years he paid for this crime, it would add up to half his life. As our curtain rises, the city of Paris is also a prisoner. The streets are filled with men and women rioting against the government.
You are beneath contempt, Valjean. You steal bread. You decide you are above the law. You escape. You are caught. Brought back to prison, you escape again and again.
All true, Inspector. But so long ago, I changed my name, became an honored citizen. I helped people. I did charitable works.
But you never paid the debt you owed society.
I begged for mercy, Javert. Forgiveness.
Don't ask it from me. So long as I live, I shall follow you. I shall not rest until you are back in prison for the rest of your life.
Our drama, Fear, Love, and Death, Part 4 of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables, has been especially adapted for the Mystery Theater by Gerald Keane and stars Alexander Scourby as Jean Valjean, Bernard Grant as Javert, and Amanda Plummer as Cosette. I shall return shortly with Act 1. Curtain rises upon the streets of Paris at a time when Frenchmen are in revolt against the government. Barricades block the streets. Men are armed with paving stones, iron bars, stolen muskets, swords, but nobody can give you a clear account of why. Through the violence, the crowds, and the haphazard death, a man with white hair and a young girl are trying to escape the fanatical pursuit of one Inspector Javert, from whom we hear now.
I had been trailing Jean Valjean and finally caught up with him in the Latin Quarter, where he was looking after Cosette, a young woman who had been entrusted to his care by a dying mother. Strange how a man can combine charity and selfishness. To some, he was good. To me, he was evil. But I missed arresting him by minutes. He is somewhere here in Paris, but the devil himself only knows where.
Cosette, I don't think we can get as far as the Saint-Lazare station.
Oh, but we have to. I couldn't bear it if that man came and took you off to prison, Jean.
No one will. But I think it's dangerous to continue walking these streets. Look, people with guns who have never fired a gun. People with swords, stones, ready to crack anyone's skull.
Why are they doing all this? It doesn't make sense.
Society as a whole has never made sense. Cosette, a crowd has a mind of its own. I'll wager not one person in 10, in 100, knows why there are barricades all over Paris, or why the people are attacking government troops. Cosette, you may as well stop walking. Our train for Cherbourg will have gone by now.
But England. We were going to take the boat to England. Where can we go?
We'll find our way slowly back to where we used to live. Courfeyrac will give us a little furniture. I'm sure he hasn't rented the apartment yet.
Is that safe?
Probably the safest place we could hide. Javert will never think of looking there. Cosette, down. Lie flat on the ground. Cover your head with your hands. Look. There's a deep doorway over there. You see it?
There. Where the man with the gun is standing.
Yes, if we crawl along the street very close to the paving stones of that barricade, we won't get hit by a stray bullet. Come on. On all fours now. Let's move.
I'm frightened to death.
Cosette, do as I say and you won't die of anything.
This is not a safe place for you, monsieur, or for the girl.
It's safer than out there. I think this doorway is deep enough to keep the three of us out of harm.
Yes, well, my name is Le Camus. This is my house, and I'm prepared to kill anyone who comes in here.
My name is Valjean. This is my granddaughter, Cosette. We're not here to enter your house, citizen.
Better not. That's all I have to say.
I'm not asking for anything. Just to remain here a few minutes until it's safe to leave.
Do you know why you were fighting?
Yes, I am defending my home, mademoiselle. Now, you had better get your grandfather to take you to yours.
That's up to him to decide. I'm not frightened.
That's what she tells other people, isn't it?
Because I'm not afraid. If you can be brave, I can. You think, monsieur, you're the only one with courage standing in this doorway. Do you know what all this shooting is about, do you?
Yes, to upset the government. I hate to have me, somebody. Idiot! Look at him. He stood up on top of the barricade. Of course he was shot.
Help! Please! God, move! Aren't you going to do anything?
Well, there is nothing to do. He'll die out there soon.
No, he won't.
Grandpa, what are you going to do?
I'm not going to let him die in the street.
Valjean, what good did it do to pull the man from the barricade, eh? He died in my doorway.
Cosette, the fighting has stopped, I think. I think it's safe to be on our way.
It's all so horrible when death is so close.
Valjean, you are going to walk through Paris without a gun? This stupid man who got himself killed here, you take his pistol.
No, don't touch him. Oh, man.
No, he's right, Cosette. The best we can do for this man now is light a candle, if not a damn. His pistol will be of more use to us. Yes, I'll take it. Let's see if it's loaded. Yes, fine. He never fired it once, not one shot. Come on, Cosette. Thank you, sir, for the use of your doorway.
Wait a moment, Valjean. Here come some friends of mine. I'd like you to meet them.
Friends of yours? Thank you, no.
Which way are we going?
We take the Rue Saint-Denis. Au revoir.
Hey, you don't wish to meet my friends, eh? They're not good enough for you, huh?
Some other time, perhaps.
Look, Cabuc, what have you been doing? Taking cover on your door.
Alors, Paul Pierre. Hey, Henri Dubois. It's about time. Where have you been, huh?
What shall we do now, Le Cabuc?
This barricade is useless. You cannot fire behind it or on top of it. I'll tell you what, comrades. Do you see that 5-story house on the corner between this street and the Rue Saint-Denis? That's where we should shoot from, huh? In that building. Now, if we stationed ourselves at the windows, not one government soldier could pass up the street. Well, what do you say, Paul?
The house is closed. Shades are drawn.
Well, knock. Are you all with me?
They won't open.
Then we'll break down the door. Let's go. Is anyone home? Anyone in there? Knock. I know there's someone in this house.
You're right, Le Cabuc. Nobody lives in 5-story house unattended.
What do you want?
Who's that speaking? Where are you?
There he is, in the window of the 3rd floor.
Yes, old man, are you the porter here?
Yes, I am. What do you wish?
Open the door.
I cannot.
Open, I tell you.
No, it's impossible.
Old man, can you see this musket? I am aiming it right at your head. Now, will you open the door, yes or no?
Oh, you don't understand.
Le Cabuc, you're not going to pull the trigger.
Old man, I will count to 3.
I'm sorry, I cannot. I have not the permission. No!
Lord in heaven, you killed him. His head. Look at it. It's lying on the windowsill.
Hurry, take my musket. Well, kick the door down.
Le Cabuc. On your knees.
What?
My pistol is aimed at the back of your neck. And I would advise any of your friends not to
Not to move a muscle.
No.
That's better. No. It is the correct position for what you will have to do.
But why are you doing this?
You have 1 minute to pray.
You're going to shoot me. Like that. In cold blood. Henri, Pierre, someone, help me.
If you don't know how to pray and think, half a minute. This is the first human being, the first man I have ever killed. What Le Cabouf did to that poor porter lying up there on the windowsill is unspeakable. What I have done is also horrible. He killed, and that is why I killed. Assassination is even more of a crime here than elsewhere, for we stand under the eye of the revolution. We must not stop here. Let's run for our lives.
Cosette, where are you?
You do that. Yes, I will. Where you hit? Yes, show me, where?
No wound, I don't think. Just knocked down by the explosion.
Oh, yes, by the shockwave.
Yes, like a thunderbolt. What was it?
It was a cannon fired at us from Saint-Gervais. The troops have been ordered to flatten this street of houses if need be. Can you stand, citizen?
Yes, I'm altogether in one piece.
Good. My shop is right here. I was just getting some wood from the cellar to board up the windows when I heard the explosion, and I saw you falling the stairs. I wouldn't go out there, yes, if I were you. Raw recruits firing a cannon they know nothing about. Well, could you stay now that you're here and help me board up the front window?
Oh, well, I would, but I must go and find my granddaughter.
Oh, the young girl who was with you. Yes, I saw her.
You saw her? When?
When Le Cabouf was shot. I saw him kneel, and then I saw her run away.
I thought so. Death isn't easy to look for. Lord knows where in Paris we could be.
It's just a time of madness. You know, the only safe place is to be in one's own home, out of the way of stray bullets.
Yes. Well, that's it. You're right. Cosette has gone to where we used to live. We spoke about it, of course. You're a good friend. I thank you.
Yes. In case we should meet again, what is your name?
Valjean. Jean Valjean.
Come. My last name is Juba. Henri Juba. You must go quickly to find your granddaughter. May the Lord protect you.
I see you have the boards already. Look, let me hold them in place while you nail them up.
You will?
I would be ashamed to leave you alone to protect your shop when you've been such a help to me.
Yes, thank you. Let's start. You know, Jean, perhaps the day of the earth filled with human love is not that far away.
A war of thickets? A street war? What is the meaning of a civil war? Asks Victor Hugo. Is not every war between men a war between brothers? War can only be qualified by its object. Neither foreign nor civil. There is only just or unjust war. End quote. And Jean Valjean's personal war against injustice in an unjust world continues. I shall return shortly with Act 2. Followed Jean Valjean and Cosette through rioting Paris. Now Victor Hugo draws our attention to the young lawyer, Marius, who has fallen in love at a distance with Cosette. Marius, believing Cosette has left France for England and that he will never be able to declare his love or see her again, decides his life is not worth living. So he joins his friends at the barricades. If he is killed, at least he thinks he will be out of his misery.
Shut the door! Shut the door!
All right, I will. I brought a friend.
Henri, this is Marius.
He's one of us.
That's why we can't always use a warm body. Good shot, Marius.
Marius, this is Henri Dubois, our commandant. He is in charge of the Saint-Denis unit. Henri, where were you yesterday?
Burying Le Quebec. He killed a porter and ran into a little trouble himself.
Can I have a gun?
Marius, you know how to fire a gun?
Well, I never have.
Paul, why do you bring us these poets or musicians? We have to have people who can shoot.
I think I can learn.
Well, you had better. The musket speaks the only language the National Guard understands.
Marius, your first lesson? Please pay attention. The gun is far easier to master than any of the legal briefs that we had to learn from the bar examination.
And don't be too long at it, Paul. Then send your friend Marius up to the bridge, the one near the Hotel Dieu. 2 of our sentries have been wounded there, and I suspect government troops are going to rush that bridge when it's dark. If they do, we'll need fair warning. It will be hard to hold out here.
Why don't I go, Henri?
You teach Marius how to aim and fire, and give him a pocket full of bullets.
If there's danger, I want to do it.
There, you see? Poets and musicians can be as brave as a barber.
He's a lawyer.
Fine. And when they're going to hang us and we appear in court, your friend can represent us. In the meantime, turn your attorney into an attacker.
Cosette!
Grandpa?
Oh, my blessed girl. I've searched all over Paris for you. Why did you leave me?
I was looking for someone.
You left at a time like that to look for someone?
I thought I saw someone I knew and ran around the corner, and he wasn't there. And then I couldn't find my way back to you.
I've been on my feet since yesterday. Cosette, if I didn't love you as if you were my own grandchild, I would be angry. Well, this place looks pretty clean. Did we leave any food when we started for England?
The grocer Madoc, he gave me something on credit. The bakery is still open. There haven't been any riots here. Why were you so angry when I defended the young man who used to watch us in the park?
Because I believed he worked with the police.
Do you still believe that?
Why do you ask?
Do you know he lives in this house, on the floor below, and we never saw him here. Not once.
How do you know that?
Monsieur Courfeyrac told me. The man in the gardens was called Marius, and he had gone to the barricades with a friend and had given him a letter for me if I should ever return. But he was going to give his life for the cause.
Oh, that sounds desperate.
I've read his letter 50 times.
It's, a love letter?
Yes. Can I read you some?
No, Cosette. It was written for you. How would I understand it, my child? I've never had the chance to love. I wouldn't know what he means.
Yes, you would.
You care for him?
Yes.
How strange. And you've never talked to him.
What is worse, I don't know where he is at this moment. In all that shooting and killing, he may be dead. And I'll never see him again.
But my darling Cosette, I can't bear it when you cry. No, pray for him. And I shall pray for all of us. Have faith. The revolt against the authorities was 3 weeks old. I, Javert, Inspector of Police, was assigned to the prefect, which gave me the delicate task of insinuating myself into the ranks of the rioters. And I went from unit to unit to find out whether the armed men were criminals or ordinary citizens. One night, I found myself at Saint-Denis, near the bridge.
Well, who goes there?
Friend.
What is the password?
Excuse me, young man, but you're not holding that musket properly.
I'm not?
Careful. It might go off. And who knows who it would hurt. Set the gun on its heel. No. The other end. Now place the butt on the ground.
You know, sir, your voice is very familiar.
All voices of the revolution are familiar. Do you know all the men behind these barricades?
No, I don't. I haven't been at this sentry post very long.
You sound like an educated man.
I'm an attorney. Most everyone here are shopkeepers or laborers from the wine docks.
Very well, I won't keep you. I must go talk to the others on the barricades. Now mind you hold that musket properly. We wouldn't want you to blow off your own foot, would we?
Henri, is Henri here? Oh, it's you, Paul.
Henri went out for some more ammunition. Did Henri relieve you at your post, Marius?
Yes. Paul, I think there's trouble. An hour ago, I saw someone out there who shouldn't be.
Are you sure?
Do you remember my telling you about a police inspector called Javert who stopped me one day in front of my house asking all kinds of questions about the man with the white hair and the girl? You know the girl I mean.
Javert. Yes, I remember.
An hour ago, he came up to me in the dark. He didn't give me the password. He asked who was manning the barricade, and I saw him go off and ask other men the same thing.
A police inspector. A spy. Where is he now?
I don't know. I had to remain on duty until Andre arrived.
It's very cold out there. I wonder if he's asking questions right here in the White Shop.
You mean in back? Well, I'll open the door to that room and see if he's there.
People have been going in and going out. I don't know all of them. They rest, they have a drink.
He's on a wait here. It's him. He's in there at one of the tables by the wall, sitting alone. Now that I see him in the light, I'm sure he's Javert of the police.
We had better wait for Henri to get back. He will know what to do.
Everyone is here now, Marius. You will open the door, walk up to the police inspector, confront him, and get him to identify himself. And the rest of us will silently stay in the back until I give the signal. Ready?
Yes.
Open the door to the wine room. We'll be right behind you.
Good evening. Yes? You don't remember me?
We talked on the barricade.
Do you remember me from before then?
No.
Well, I remember you. Your name is Javert, isn't that so?
Yes, I am Javert.
There, grab a hold of him. Push him to the floor. Pull. The rope. Let go of his rope. Bousquet, hold his legs. Good work, Marius. Hand me everything you find in his pockets.
This looks like an identification paper, and here's a purse.
Huh? Well, not bad. A few pieces of gold.
And a gold watch. That's it.
Well, we'll heave him onto the long table. Bousquet, clear off the glasses. Now, he's well trussed up, so he'll remain quiet. Now, I've got his feet. Paul, Marius, Bousquet, grab him by the shoulders, and up we go. Now, let us gather round and examine what our spy was carrying, huh? Well, yes, look at this round card set in glass, will you? Is this the identification?
Henri, let me... Javert, police inspector, age 52, and a signature. M. Bousquet, prefect of police.
May I have my watch and my purse? You will be buried with them. Javert, the mice have caught the cat.
Are you leaving me tied up like this?
Not for long, spy.
And who decides?
Not who, but what. You hear that musket fire, huh? If they come near the barricades and we think it will be taken, you will be shot 2 minutes before that moment.
Why not right now?
We are saving our powder.
Then why not kill me with a knife?
Spy, we are judges, not assassins.
Have you come for more ammunition? No, I'm looking for someone. Well, if you don't see him here, citizen, he's out there fighting for our lives. We take turns mining these headquarters and guarding prisoners. I'm looking for Marius. What, you are?
Yes.
I am Marius.
Of course you are. I should have recognized you.
You know me?
And you know me. The man in the Luxembourg Gardens with Cosette. I am Valjean, a guardian. Look, I'll take my cap off.
Oh, The man with the white hair. Her name is Cosette? How is she? Where is she? I was told you'd both gone to England.
So many questions and not enough time to answer any of them.
Her name is Cosette. Oh, I can't get over that. I never knew her name. Well, why did you come for me? Oh, how lucky you found me.
I believe in prayer, and it happened. Since I came between you two, I must bring you together. We're in the same house you lived in. Go and surprise her.
Oh, Lord, yes, but I can't leave here.
Why not? I'll take your place.
It's getting hot out there.
Oh, Henri, this is Valjean. He lives in the same house as I do.
Oh, yes, I remember you. Welcome. This is a good man, Marius.
I want Marius to do an important errand for me. I'll take his place.
Valjean, anything. Marius, how long will it take?
I want him merely to reassure someone that he's alive.
That's all right. Just so long as you come back, Marius, to reassure me.
Oh, thank you, Henri. Au revoir.
Yes? Who is it?
A friend.
You.
I thought I would never see you again.
I thought I would never see you. Don't you want to come in?
No. I'll just stand here and look at you and tell you how I feel.
I'll leave the door open. Please come in.
All right. Did you get my letter? I left it to the landlord just in case.
I know. Just in case. Perhaps it was all meant to be that we couldn't get to the station and could not escape to England.
Oh, it was meant to be. The day I came upstairs and Couffarak was cleaning your rooms because you'd left, I thought I would die.
I thought about you all the time. Every step through the streets I saw you. Sitting on that bench in the garden, looking up at me from your book.
Oh, I can't believe I mean something to you.
Oh, yes, you do.
We never spoke.
We spoke.
Yes, with our eyes.
Yes.
I love you. I don't offend you by saying that.
Oh, no.
You love me, then?
You know I do.
Oh, it's a miracle.
Oh, what is that?
The riot has come here. Somebody threw a rock at a window downstairs.
What good can come out of all of this?
Oh, isn't it incredible that it took a civil war for us to find each other? We must never let anything come between us again.
Victor Hugo writes, two beings, pure as spirits, told each other everything. Their dreams, their depressions, how they longed for each other at a distance, and their mutual despair when they could not meet. Two hearts poured into each other so that at the end of an hour the young man had the maiden soul and the maiden his. I shall return shortly with Act 3. The war of paving stones and gutters, shots fired by shopkeepers from cellars against trained troops, is a war of no victors, no vanquished. Against this backdrop of death in the streets, Jean Valjean has found the young man whom his ward, Cosette, believes she loves, Marius. And he has sent Marius to her.
It's midnight. It may be a quiet night.
Henri, your position behind this barricade is dangerous. When I came, I saw hundreds of troops gathering at both ends of the street. You'll be bottled up. And then what?
Well, perhaps. A great deal can happen before morning. Oh, have you seen our spy?
Huh?
Yes, Marius got us a spy.
No, I haven't.
He's tied up in the wine room back there. Some police inspector.
A police inspector?
Yes, I will show you. I tell you this. If our barricade suffers sudden death, so will he.
Well. Inspector Javert, Valjean. I thought you had run for it to England. Javert of the police, lying on a table trussed up like a chicken.
In my greatest imaginings, I could not have dreamt I would see a convict go free while I, a servant of the law, am imprisoned with ropes.
Yes. Interesting reversal, isn't it? Perhaps there is justice after all.
What would a common thief know about justice?
That was a lifetime ago.
Your debt's still outstanding. You may have escaped the bars, Valjean, but there's no escaping the truth.
Have you nothing good to say about the days I changed my name, became an honest citizen, how I helped people, did charitable works?
You never paid the debt you owed society.
That is the truth. The only truth. The truth is too hard. All my life it has set its foot on my chest. I've cried for mercy, but the truth is not merciful.
Don't ask for forgiveness from me. I cannot, and I will not. Valjean, so long as I live, I shall follow you until I have caught you and returned you to prison.
What good am I to man, I ask myself, if I'm thrown back into prison?
You asked that question too late.
I was a boy when I stole that one loaf of bread.
Our conversation goes nowhere and can go nowhere. If I am killed by your brothers, that too will hang over you.
It will not. Justice. That word you live by. Justice has brought you here. Tied you up, made you helpless. I couldn't have pictured a more fitting reward for you. I laugh. No more looking behind me. No more listening for your footsteps. No more hiding behind other names. Goodbye, Javert.
Valjean! Valjean, where are you?
In here with your spy.
It is as you said it would be. That boy came running just now with the news that they are bottling up the streets. We are too dangerous to them.
What do you plan to do with this pitiful police inspector?
I will leave a loaded pistol by his head, and the last man to abandon this place will be told to blow out this prisoner's brains.
Henri, you said you wished to reward me. Well, I ask for my reward.
What is it?
To blow out this man's brains.
Well, why not? Any complaints, Mr. Spy, Inspector Javert?
It is fair.
Huh? I have no objection.
I'll take him now. Outside.
You'll need a pistol.
I still have the one I took from the dead man.
The job is yours, Valjean.
Tied up as I was, there was no chance to escape. But Valjean would have to untie me so I could follow him out the wine shop. How could I distract him sufficiently so I might fall down or roll away from him? It was dark out there, the only light occasionally from a cannon firing miles away. It would be touch and then go. One would have to be very clever. I will watch everything he does, every move.
Hold still, Javert. I'm undoing the rope they tied you with to the table. And I'll tie it around you to use as a leash. Yeah, that's it. Now, I use this for a hangman's noose around your throat. Don't pull back, the knot will tighten. Very good. Now, sit up.
Now, what are you going to do?
Just having a look at how securely your arms are fastened to your side. Mm-hmm. Good job. Off the table now. Go on.
Where are you taking me?
Outside. You and I are going for a stroll.
I will not be able to walk. My feet are tied together.
I am aware of that, Javert. And tied they will remain. We'll manage.
Perhaps outside I could get away. Valjean took me the length of the barricade. My feet still bound. He made me climb over it and stood me beside a pile of corpses. I could see what he intended. One shot to my head, and all he had to do was to add my body to theirs. He checked his gun.
That seems to be in good order. Only you and I, Javert. No one to watch us. Go on. Take your revenge. On second thought, I think my knife will be more useful. Yes. By all means, a pocket knife. You're right. A knife suits you better. Hold still, Javert. What are you doing? What you least expect. There. I've cut through the rope around your neck. Now hold your arms as still as you can. I don't want to draw blood. What are you going to do with my neck and arms? Free. Stay right there. Don't move your feet. I don't understand at all. That's it. Your feet are untied. Let me rub your ankles, get the blood through your veins again. You are letting me go. You are free. You are... I see you're going to shoot me in the back as I walk away. I'm going to shoot into the air so that I can tell the others the deed is done.
Good riddance. One bullet, eh?
Yes, Henri. One bullet.
Valjean, I've given orders to abandon the barricade. We're going to regroup at the Place Fontenoy, that barricade. You go first. I'll follow.
I can't, Henri. I have to stay here.
Have to? Why?
Marius may come back.
I'd forgotten. But if he makes it as far as the top of the Rue Saint-Denis, he'll see we're surrounded, so he'll turn back.
I can't be sure. Supposing they've spread out or are moving from door to door. They're checking all doorways and buildings. He sees no one and is caught in the crossfire. Henri, you go. I'll stay. Where will I find you? Tomorrow or the next day?
I shall probably return to my barber shop. I'll be in the cellar. Oh, bring your Marius. He's a brave young man. It was he who captured the spy. I'm going. Long live the Republic!
Far. Marius, lean on me. Oh, my legs. Are they both gone? Paul, tell me the truth. You are bleeding, but you have them. I had to come back to find Jean Valjean for her sake. She was so worried about him. I'm glad I saw you. I thought it was all over for me. No, we haven't far to go. Just hold on to me tight. Paul, if I don't survive... I saw her. You saw who? The girl from the Luxembourg Gardens. My love. You saw her today? She loves me, too. Her name is Cosette. Oh, we won't get through here. Everything is blocked off. Oh. Marius, look up there. Climbing over that cart. That man. His coat is on fire. Marius, you stay. I have to run to him and help him. It's out. Thank you, my boy. I didn't even notice I was wearing blade. You burn your hand? No. It's all right. But what are you doing here? Everyone was ordered out. I could ask you the same question. I climbed up here to see if Marius was coming. Something burning fell on me from the building. Did you see Marius? He's here. I left him lying over there. I show you. His legs are badly hurt. He cannot move by himself. Marius, look. I brought you a friend. Oh, my boy. Look at those legs. We must bind them up. His friend. He'll come to. We must tear up our shirts and strips. Yes, of course. Marius, wake up. I found your friend. Jean Valjean. I saw her. We were together. Cosette, she wanted me to find you. That's good. That's enough for a tourniquet. Marius, I'm going to stop the bleeding. Did you hear what I said? Cosette loves me. Oh, now I want to live. I don't want to die anymore. right, Marius.
Are you a doctor, too?
In my time, I've learned a lot of things.
I do not know how we can get out of here. Surrounded by all this burning and gunfire. A patrol could appear any minute and we will be shot on sight.
The sewers. What? But there's a manhole entrance right over there under that pile of paving stones.
Escape into the sewer?
It's an underground world. I know the Paris sewers like the back of my hand.
Yes. Between us, we could carry Marius.
Oh, I can carry him alone. You see where that red flag is lying on the stone?
Yes.
Right under there is an entrance. All we have to do is to clear off all the paving stones, and we'll find it.
You're right. There is the sewer. But how are we going to get the cover off?
I can lift it.
But it's solid iron, 3 feet wide. How can you?
Don't ask questions. Stand back. There's a hole at one side, you see. I can fit my fingers in there and pull.
It is coming. You are moving it. Here, let me help get under it to put it on an edge.
Careful, it doesn't fall on you. There's a ladder, iron rungs, leading below. I'll go down first. You catch hold of Marius and hoist him over to me.
All right, yes. Valjean.
What is it, Paul?
I think Marius is no more.
Nonsense, he's just fainted. See his chest rising and falling. Get him over here quickly. That's fine. Yes, he's breathing. All right, I'm starting down. Now, you hold him down here just below him. Now, let him down, feet first on top of me. All right, I have him. You can let go, Paul. I've got Marius securely over my shoulder. I'll start, and you climb down after me.
What will I do about the manhole cover?
Leave it. Come on down. Now, careful of your feet. Don't step on my finger.
Lord of heaven, we have made it. We are going to be safe.
How safe Paul and Marius and Jean Valjean will be in the sewers of Paris remains to be seen in our next and final installment of Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. The sewers of that day were an indescribable city of mud, poisoned air, rodents, and reptiles, and inhabited by human scum who no longer could find homes above ground. I shall return shortly. It is with pride that we of the Mystery Theater are privileged to bring you the unusual giant of a novel, Les Misérables, to commemorate the start of our 9th season on the air. In our next broadcast, we will keep step with Jean Valjean, a man haunted by his past and hunted as an animal. Through that underground labyrinth, the sewers of Paris, we shall follow him step by step in that gangrenous graveyard, hoping all the while he will reach safety and peace. Our cast included Alexander Scobie, Amanda Plummer, Bernard Grant, Lloyd Batista, and Earl Hammond. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Raven House Paperback Mysteries. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... E.G. Marshall. Les Misérables is written for all, not only a book about France and Frenchmen. The crimes of humanity do not halt at the red and blue lines of a map. At the hour of civilization through which we are now passing, the real Misérables are ourselves. Man is agonizing everywhere and groaning in all languages. Jean Valjean is not the only convicted man trying to escape. He is all of us trying to break our chains. These are not my words, but those of Victor Hugo, whose closing chapters you're about to hear.
Jean Valjean, I can't keep up with you. I had no idea the Paris sewers were so vast.
So keep moving, Paul. Keep moving or you'll sink.
How are we ever going to get out? And you carrying Marius on your back.
How is he? Can you see? Is he still bleeding?
His eyes are closed.
Keep going, Paul. And pray for his life.
Our drama, The Final Chapter, which concludes Les Misérables by Victor Hugo, has been especially adapted for the Mystery Theater by Gerald Keane and stars Alexander Scourby as Jean Valjean, Bernard Grant as Javert, and Amanda Plummer as Cosette. I shall return shortly with Act One. On the run has been a way of life for Jean Valjean for 40 years. Time and again he has come up against the inequities of that man-made concept called justice. Today, France is in revolt, the streets of Paris a battlefield, and Jean Valjean attempts to rescue a wounded young man, Marius, carrying the boy on his back through that clotted maze of underground sinkholes known as the sewers of Paris.
Valjean, it's getting darker down here.
Yes. I can still see enough, Paul. Just follow me.
Marius must be heavy for you to carry alone. Let me help.
No, Paul, you don't know the way. You wouldn't be able to keep in step with me anyway. And if we carried Marius between us, it would take twice as long to get out of here.
I suppose you're right.
I know these sewers. We'll get out.
Oh, the water's creeping up over my ankles. Where are we now?
If we follow the main stone sewer, we should end up at the river.
And once we reach the Seine, it means escape.
Yes. This is the only way. We'd never be able to walk the streets without being shot. Paul, take another look at Marius's face. Wait. I'll stop a moment. I need to stop.
His eyes are closed.
How's his breathing?
Yes, he's breathing.
Good. We lost a great deal of blood at the barricades.
Shall we go on?
We must go on. Leave the sewer. Get Marius to a doctor. We can't turn back.
What's that noise?
What? Oh. A horse and carriage. Over our heads, up above. In the street.
A horse and carriage. Jean, the light is closer. Brighter. We must be near the end of the sewer.
Daylight. It's lanterns. It's the police.
Can hear you? Who are you? Who is there?
Who are they looking? Keep quiet.
They can't see us yet. The lanterns don't shine this far.
Whoever you are, we are the police. Move.
That was a near one.
What should we do?
Exactly as they tell you. Don't move.
They're going to find us now, aren't they? Can we go back?
We are not going back. I must get this boy out, don't you understand? He's dying.
But look at those lights. They're coming closer.
Listen to me. There are a few side ducts. The police could still turn down one of them to find us.
Are they looking for you?
No, the police make regular inspections of the sewers.
There's a whole underground world here.
We're trapped.
See if you can find a large stone or a loose rock. One that will make a big splash.
But I can hardly see anything.
Then feel under the water. Now be careful, though. Don't move too close to the center of the sewer. It drops off sharply and gets very deep. Better make it 2 stones. Hurry. Marius, can you hear me?
Oh, where am I?
Blessed be the Lord you've come to.
Who is it? Oh, who are you? Where are we?
Paul, hurry up. I think I found 2 big stones. Marius. He's got his eyes open.
Who are you? I feel so weak.
We'll get you out, my boy. We'll get you to a doctor.
I can see his face. He doesn't understand what you're saying.
Who is there? Come out in the name of the law.
How good are you at throwing a stone, Paul?
We can't hold them off with 2 stones.
No, there are 2 side channels between us and the police, about 25 yards up. One goes to the right, the other to the left.
Yes?
I want you to throw 1 stone as close to the left side channel as you can. Can you see it?
Yes. Where the stone arches get wider.
Sergeant, hold your lantern higher.
Throw it, Paul. Quickly, go on. Throw the stone.
Did you hear that? There's someone hiding in the channel. Over to the left. Shine the light.
Now, Paul, the other stone.
No, I was mistaken. The sound is from the right.
Bullseye.
I'm not sure where. We will split up. One of you come with me to the left. Sergeant, you take the rest of the men to the right. We're bound to find anyone who is hiding.
They're going into the side channels. There they go.
Let's move ahead quickly. Marius, are you all right?
His eyes are closed again, Paul. Passed out.
Keep walking. And pray for his life, Paul.
Valjean, the water is up to our knees.
I know that. There's something peculiar about this drain. Seems as if it's filled up a lot since I was here before.
Jean, I'm afraid. Now it's up to our waist. Shouldn't we try another way?
There is no other way.
Jean, we have to save ourselves.
Don't talk nonsense. You could never live with yourself if we got out and left Marius to drown in a Paris sewer. I'm going to walk very carefully and slowly now. You make sure his head stays above water.
Why is it getting deeper?
Keep moving behind me. Watch Marius.
It's up to your chin. Stop.
Lift up Marius's head. Lift it up.
I'm doing that.
Somewhere along here. It's got to get higher.
Please, Jean, wait. Just wait.
It can't wait. Every moment, Marius is closer to death.
We're all closer to death. What good is that? We shall drown in the sewer.
Yeah. My foot has hit something solid. Wait, I'm stepping up. I'm up on it. It's higher. Paul, I'm going to move over. You try right where I was standing. There. Put your foot on it, Paul.
Yes. It's like a step up.
Slowly now. Move both your feet onto that step. Here's another one. Still higher. I'm on it. Look at me, Paul. Catch hold of me.
Yeah.
All right. Pull yourself up.
Yes. I'm on the second step. We're climbing out of the water.
Yes, this is the right way. Now, you follow the stone vault. Keep your right hand on the right wall. It curves around here.
There it is. The opening is right in front of us.
The Lord has answered some of our prayers. But not all.
What do you mean? I can even see the reflection of the river on the roof of this vault.
Take a second look, Paul. We can't get out this way.
What? Why?
Don't you see that heavy iron grating between the end of the tunnel and the sand?
I see it, but can it be opened?
We'll see.
I'm going to slide Marius off my back. Will you hold him?
I'll hold him in my arms.
Good.
Go, Jean. Let him go.
There.
Oh, I've got him. He's still in a faint. Now, what now?
I've had some experience with iron bars. I'll find out how secure these are. Hinges are all rusted.
That means it's stuck?
Yes.
They can't be opened?
Not really loose, but they look clean. As if the hinges had cut through the rust.
What's that sort of brick at the bottom?
That? Yes, it's a large square padlock covered with rust. I've seen a lot of these in my time.
A lock?
Yes.
Can you open it?
There's only one way to open them. That's with a key.
Can't bear it. To be so close to freedom. Valjean, what are we going to do?
You begin, Paul, by not giving up hope. You watch over Marius. I'm going to shake one bar at a time with all my strength and all my prayers. If I can just break one of those bars, then use that as a lever to lift the grating off the hinges.
Halt! You there!
Is it them? The police.
They must have heard our voices. They're in the side channel. Paul, where are you going?
I'm going to run back. If they see me, they won't look for you. Good luck, Jean. Take care of Marius.
Halt! Or I will fire!
Paul ran back from the mouth of the sewer. A shot was fired from a policeman's gun, and the last that Jean Valjean saw of Paul was the moment he seemed to fall into the deepest part of the sewer. Valjean had no idea whether Paul might be swimming to safety or had been killed. For Jean Valjean and Marius, there seemed no way out. I shall return shortly with Act 2. Feet below the embankment of the River Seine, Jean Valjean has been groping his way through that tangled ravelment of the Paris sewers, only to find he is stopped by a rusted, locked iron gate. Above, on the embankment, facing the Cathedral of Notre Dame, stands the man who has been following Valjean for many, many years. But he has no idea that his ancient enemy is in the sewer, directly below.
Monsieur Javert, do you still wish me to wait here with my coat?
I hired you and your horse and carriage, and I expect you to be where I want you to be. Right here.
It's 6 o'clock.
Thank you. I can count.
It's only that it's getting late, and my horse has to be fed.
So feed the animal. I am not stopping you.
I didn't have any time to bring oats with me. You remember, sir, that thief ran out of the house, and I happened to be standing at the curb, and you told me to drive after him.
He's here somewhere. I know he is.
Inspector Javert, when he ran into that cul-de-sac, I never saw him again. Oh, quiet, Yvette. You have to wait for the inspector. Inspector Javert, I saw the thief run towards the river. Then he disappeared.
They all come here. Thieves and robbers. Somewhere along this embankment, there must be a place they disappear into. If I wait long enough, he'll come out. He will have to. Oh, my poor Marius. I thought I was saving you from my Cosette, but I'm bringing you closer and closer to death. Will you ever forgive me? Stay there, and I'll try again to break those bars. Who's that?
I'll take half.
Come out of the shadows.
Half, Sheriff.
Who's that? Who are you?
You wish to get out, don't you? I'll take half your share.
What do you mean, half share? Who are you?
Oh, he asks questions, this one. But they're the wrong questions. What you should ask me is, how are you going to get out of here?
You live in the sewers?
Let us say, I use the sewers when I am compelled to escape from the law.
You can help me?
Oh,
Indeed, I can. This is why I propose to you half shares.
What do you mean, half shares?
This young man lying against the wall.
Huh?
Obviously, you have done him in. I can see his clothes were once quite fine, but now he's dead. You wish to escape? Dump his body into the river. I have a key to that gate. Half shares.
You can unlock it?
From outside and inside.
You go in and out of here at will?
And I have for years. Here is the key. Take a good look at it. It cost me a lot to have it made, but it's worth every sou.
All right.
Wisest decision you ever made. Where is what you got from him?
No, I haven't taken everything out of his pockets yet.
How did you manage to get all the way here? Where did you come from?
The barricades at Saint-Denis.
You walked this hours all this way?
Did you say you wanted half?
I'll take what I can get. Here, I'll go through his pockets. Not that I don't trust you.
Can we hurry?
Why? He's not going to open his eyes and watch. You said you haven't emptied his pockets yet?
I didn't say that. I said I haven't taken everything.
Well, what have you got? How much do you have?
I'll hold out my hand and you count it.
What is that all? 1 louis d'or? 1, 2, 3, 5 franc pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 double sous? You didn't kill him for much? I'll take it all.
Go on, you can have it.
Why are you in such a hurry? I said half share, and you let me have everything. Here, I'll give you a hand and lift him onto your shoulder.
Sure.
Now, I'll show you how easy it is to unlock the gate. The lock is open. Then I pull the bolt back. And voila. Surprised, aren't you? You thought the old gate was all rusted over. That's what I want them to think, too. Yeah. I keep it oiled. And today there was an inspector right at my heels. I ran down the embankment, unlocked, and ducked in here. I can see him standing up there wondering where I could have gone. I played tricks with the police all the time. Now, here's it. Out you go. Bonne chance. Good luck.
And what do you two think you're doing on the embankment at this hour of night?
I am admiring the beauty of our cathedral.
And so you two sit here?
The beauty of Notre Dame has left us breathless.
Who are you?
I am myself.
What does that mean?
You're standing in the dark, but I know that voice.
And I know yours. Stand and identify yourself.
I will not stand. This wounded boy needs me by his side. I am Jean Valjean.
Yes, you are. And you know who I am.
Inspector Javert. You have me. You may arrest me. But grant me one favor.
One favor? Again, one favor. How many times in one lifetime do I have to hear you ask me for one favor? Valjean, I did not come here looking for you. Now, why must you be under my feet? And who is that person on the ground?
It is for him I ask the favor, Javert. Do with me as you please, but first will you help me carry him home? He needs a doctor quickly. That's all I ask of you.
He looks dead.
Pray the Lord, not yet.
You brought him all the way across Paris. Here? What for?
Javert, will you help him?
You brought him to Notre Dame for prayers. Well, Jean, why does it have to be you? I do not want to see you.
That carriage waiting up there, is that yours?
Can you carry the boy?
A few more steps, yes.
Then come along. What are you waiting for?
Cosette! Cosette! I have brought you Marius.
Well, what happened to him?
He was wounded on the barricades. His heart is beating strongly. Let me lay him on your bed, child. Get a cloth to wipe the blood from his face.
Yes, a cloth. I'll wet it from a pitcher. A wet cloth, yes. Oh, my poor Marius. What happened, Jean? What can we do?
On my way upstairs, I asked Monsieur Courfeyrac to run fetch a doctor.
I knew, Jean. You look awful. How did you get here?
In a carriage commandeered by the police.
The police?
Yes, my old friend and enemy, Javert.
He's here?
Yes. He's downstairs waiting for me.
No, not after all you have been through.
You can clean off Marius's face better than that. Wipe it carefully. One would think you didn't care for the boy at all.
My dear, darling Marius, open your eyes. My dearest, oh, my dearest, please, I ask of you. Your sweet face. Jean, he's blinking.
Were I his age and a girl like you were bending over me, I would certainly open my eyes.
Oh, Cosette.
Dear heart.
Where am I?
You're here with me. Jean has sent for a doctor. You will be well soon, Marius. Marius.
Stay with him. The doctor will come soon. He's exhausted. You see, his eyes have closed again.
Jean, where are you going?
We're just downstairs.
You are not going away with Javert.
I've decided not to. I'll ask him for one more favor. To remain here until the doctor comes.
You promised to ask him that?
I will. Marius, I promised Cosette's mother to watch over her. Now, when you are well, it will be your turn. Bless you, children.
Ah, Monsieur Valjean. Is that you?
Yes, it is, my dear landlord. Is the doctor coming?
I went to his house. His wife said he was still at the hospital. So many injured in the riots. I explained it was an emergency, and she promised to send him over as soon as he gets home.
Do you know him?
Dr. Pierre Courfeyrac? I should say I do. He's my brother.
Where is Javert?
Who?
The man in the cape who helped me bring Marius in from the carriage.
What did you say his name was?
Javert. He was going to wait for me.
Oh, he's gone. He paid the carriage, sent it off, and then he walked away. He
walked away? Why did he do that? Why? That is very hard to understand.
It is hard to understand why I, Javert, the right arm of justice, would walk away from Jean Valjean. Walk away from my duty as an officer of the law. I could not explain it to myself. Days passed, and I became more and more troubled. The man whom I should have placed behind bars had let me live at the barricades, had refused to shoot me. I was to be executed as a spy, and he set me free. But I could not free myself.
Javert, the upright, the impartial, the beacon of truth and justice, believed he was unfit, degraded. What had happened to him? Was justice and the law not as powerful as goodness and charity? Valjean had freed him from death, and that was good. And he, Javert, had also been good by letting Valjean go. Yet, For that disobedience to his oath of office, he could not forgive himself. I shall return shortly with Act 3. Javert, the implacable, stands on a bridge overlooking the Seine, in the twin shadows of Notre Dame, wrestling with a dilemma. Why hadn't Jean Valjean carried out the death sentence at the barricades? Why, after a lifetime pursuit, had Javert walked away from his duty? All week, the policeman had been trying to explain to himself the unexplainable, make himself believe he was still an uncorrupted servant of the law. But all he could see was chaos and ruin.
Javert! Jean Valjean. Must I see you every time I look around?
I've been looking for you for days. I didn't expect to find you here at Notre Dame. No one at the police has seen you all week. Where have you been?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have walked almost the length of the Seine through Paris.
You were looking for something?
Yes.
But you didn't find it?
No.
You were looking for peace of mind.
Is it any concern of yours?
Yes. Javert, our paths have crossed so many times. And I, even as an animal hidden in the forest who looks back at the hunter and wonders why he is aiming the gun at him, I have an affinity for my killer.
My duty? I never hunted you as an animal.
What I am trying to say is, yes, you are a concern of mine. It was peace you walked all week to find?
Yes.
You won't find it in a week, Javert. I haven't found it in a lifetime.
The young Marius. How is he?
He gets better every day. He's beginning a new life.
How I envy him.
You don't sound like the Javert I've known for so many years.
I don't know which Javert I am. It's you, Jean Valjean, who have come between me and order and sanity. For I always have been able to see clearly cause and effect, good and evil, right and wrong. Now there is a cloud that obscures my beliefs.
I have done that?
The day you appeared on the embankment, my instinct told me, arrest him. But how could I do that to someone who had saved my life? If I accepted my life from you and repaid you with life imprisonment, I would be no better than you. I, too, would be an escaped convict.
Do you remember the bishop from whom I stole silver when I got out of Toulon? To help me, he told the police he'd given me the silver, but he gave me something infinitely more precious. Belief in the goodness of man. I had suffered 19 years for stealing a loaf of bread, and in one single minute, that bishop took away all my bitterness and black thoughts.
You believe what some old bishop once told you?
Yes. I've moved to a garret where I live by myself. I gave Cosette and Marius my old rooms. I have a pair of candlesticks I light every Sunday. Those silver candlesticks have been with me always. They remind me of what he said. That no harm can come to anyone who understands charity.
It's you who doesn't understand. I'm faced with two roads, whereas all my life there's been but one road, and now there are two, and that's what terrifies me. Look at me. I'm trembling because I do not know what to do. I should lock you up, but I cannot. And the law demands of me that I must.
Perhaps there is a higher law. Not an eye for an eye, but love for love.
Love of my fellow man, be he criminal or innocent?
I don't understand that.
It's simple. Our Savior understood it. You ask too much of me. Valjean, my obedience to the law has been everything. And now I have broken that law far more than you ever did. I closed my eyes to duty. I set a prisoner free. And that is why I despise myself. I do not understand my actions any more than I understand why you, a desperate man whom I have followed to persecution and who could have avenged himself, why you let me live.
Like you, I had no choice.
Don't you see, Valjean? I, Javert, am not the millstone around your neck. It is you who are the stone around mine. It is you who are weighing me down. I ask you, please go. Walk elsewhere the rest of the evening. Leave me alone on this bridge. And perhaps during the night, I will see a glimmer of a star in the water below. And perhaps I will understand.
Jean Valjean. Huh? Oh, Paul. What in the world are you doing this time of the morning sitting on a bench by the Seine?
I spent the night here.
What? Sleeping?
No, thinking. Oh, Paul. Where did you disappear to that day in the sewers?
I jumped into the water and stayed there till the police left and then started walking. Found an open manhole, climbed out, and finally got home. And Marius?
I brought him back to the house where I used to live. My Cosette is taking care of him.
Oh.
The doctor says his wounds will heal soon.
How he must be very grateful to you. Would you mind telling me why you spent the night on the bench?
It's complicated, my boy. I happened to run into an old acquaintance of mine near here last night. And when I left him, he left me with a great deal to think about. So I sat there, and before I knew it, I was asleep.
Jean, look at that crowd gathering on the dock down there. The place that rents the rowboats.
Yeah. What? They're pulling a body out of the water.
Oh, some poor drowned soul.
Yes. I have a feeling... Paul, would you mind? I want to go down and have a look.
Interesting how the awareness and the soul can hover over one's whole body. There I lie on the dock, a gray, lifeless skin in a heap of wet clothing. Down there, on earth, they say the Almighty punishes for self-destruction, that hell awaits you. The hell is on earth, not here. No longer do I have to choose. The choice is made. I wait for destiny to take me by the hand.
Do you know him, Valjean?
Yes.
You knew him well?
For many years. Yes, he was always there. Like a menacing shadow waiting in the corner of my life.
So he was not a friend. He has an old face.
He was not old. He died before his time.
Perhaps he was murdered.
I don't think so. But if murder is the word, he did it.
Killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
I see. He must have been a very unhappy man.
He was. Paul, let us go to Mass and pray for his soul.
I had to wait a month for this day, but it's worth waiting for.
Listen to Mary.
Oh, Paul, Cosette. A wedding party with my two dearest ones. What more could I ask for? Cosette, my darling, come away from the window. I'm afraid he's not coming.
How do you know? Why is it taking him so long to walk over from the church?
He wasn't at the church.
Jean wasn't at my wedding?
Well, he wasn't feeling well. He told me a few days ago he wouldn't be able to attend our wedding.
Why didn't you tell me that?
I didn't want to upset you, and we'd made our plans for the date.
You led me to believe Jean was right there in the back of the church, and he wasn't. Well, how could you do that? Where is he?
Well, I suppose where he lives.
He needs me. It's not right that he doesn't live with us. I've said it over and over. And now where is he on the most important day of my life? Why didn't you tell me Jean said he might not come to the wedding? Not to receive his kisses and his wishes?
Jean Valjean is a strange man. If he says he wishes not to intrude, that he prefers to live alone, he means it. He's a very self-effacing man.
Paul, you mean well, but I love Jean, and I always will. I hardly remember my mother. He has taken care of me, put me first above everything. He has always been my whole family.
May I propose a toast to Cosette and Marius, to a romance that began in the Luxembourg Gardens and survived the riots of Paris. Your health.
Health. Thank you, Paul. Cosette? Cosette, what is it? The glass fell right out of your hand. Are you all right?
I'm worried. Marius, Paul, will you excuse me? I must go see him. I must see him now. Today would not be complete without his blessing. My dearest, dear grandfather.
Cosette, I'm not your grandfather. I've told you that.
No, you're not. You're my whole family. I'm so sorry. I am.
Oh.
To see you lying on this bed in this awful room with no one to take care of you. It isn't right. Where would I be without you?
You're starting a new life with Marius. Imagine another knock on my door in one single day. You're my very first visitor, and now there's another.
I'll go see who it is. Marius?
My darling, I came because I had to speak to Jean. Jean, I don't know how to say this. I have done you a terrible wrong.
Oh, Marius, stop.
You made Paul promise not to tell me that it was you who gave me my life, carried me through the sewers. He broke that promise.
That was stupid of me, I suppose.
Yes, it was. You gave Marius back to me.
And then he told me that you could not have executed the spy Javert because the man was found drowned in the Seine. I'm so very ashamed, Jean. I judged you falsely. But we shall make up for that. You are going to make your home with us.
Marius. Oh, my darling.
Jean, I owe you so much that I can never repay. You are my grandfather as you are Cosette's. And now we will pack you up. Children. We will have a carriage below, and before you know it, you will be out of this miserable garret.
No, I don't know if I could get up and walk now. I'm not very well, really, my children. I feel so weak. Yeah, but before we do anything, Cosette, I want you to take the 2 candlesticks from the mantel. Yes, take them. They've inspired my life all my days. You and Marius keep them wherever you live and light them on Sundays. And pray for me. I love you both.
I'll have the coachman come up and help us carry you down.
They're beautiful. I have always loved them. And I will keep them burning for you. Jean? Jean! Oh, no, don't. Oh, please, don't go yet. Oh, Lord in heaven.
was as if my mission in life had been achieved. I never left the garret, but suddenly my spirit left my body, and I was above the earth, beyond unhappiness, beyond cruelty, beyond man. I say one last prayer for those of the world who suffer without reward. For I die a happy man.
With respect, we have brought you the final chapter of the Mystery Theater's adaptation of Victor Hugo's immortal book, Les Misérables, a book which took the author 19 years to complete. And it was only one of a shelf of his novels, verse dramas, and poetry, all of which entitle him to the reputation of one of the great figures of world literature. I shall return shortly. The Mystery Theater's enviable record of bringing you the best of radio drama today, we have begun our 9th season with Victor Hugo's Les Misérables. To his publisher, the author wrote, "I have written for all nations. Social problems overstep frontiers. In every place where man despairs, where a child wants a book to instruct him, where people need a hearth to warm them, my book, Les Misérables, knocks at the door and says, 'Open to me. I am hope. I come for you.'" Our cast included Alexander Scourby, Bernard Grant, Amanda Plummer, Bob Caliban, and Lloyd Batista. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Raven House Paperback Mysteries. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.